This and all episodes of the podcast have been brought to you by our generous patrons over at Patreon, the DayZ podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can support the show each week, then please click the link in the description down below to find out more information about Patreon, the DayZ podcast. Thank you for your support. And once again, as always, folks, a big shout out to our supporters on patreon.com, the DayZ podcast. Our $10 supporters, Scalespeeder Gaming and Dick Donovan. Thank you so much, guys. Your support is really appreciated. And a massive shout out to our $25 supporter, Jake Snow. I don't know why you do it, mate, but we can't thank you enough for your support for the DayZ podcast. All the best, folks, and enjoy the show. 2, 1. G'day everybody, and welcome to episode 58 of the DayZ podcast. And hell yeah, I have been excited for this one all week, Mark. Some say too excited, but when everyone gets to hear what our guest tonight, Mario, has to talk about, they're going to be amazed, Mark. It's going to be absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. See what he has to reveal.
Mario, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty well. How are you?
Not too bad at all, mate. Sadly, it seems like Mario's partner in crime, Tyrone Biggums, has fallen asleep. If he reaches out to you at any stage, he's welcome to jump in. We're pretty casual around here. But, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to annoy you and make you wait just a little bit longer for the big news, because we need to talk about something with Helkiana first. Helkiana. Finally,
Hello.
we finally got to announce to everyone what our special secret Do Something Nice for Someone Special campaign was.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to keep a secret for so long. But we finally managed. There was some hiccups with the customs taking ages as well. Yay, Brexit.
Yep.
But yeah, so we raised money to buy Adams, aka Summerk, aka Project Lead, aka Namalsk Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And really nice PC because he's been playing on a really shitty laptop for so long, and he could barely play any other games, to be honest. So I know Boydie is saying that I've done a lot, but like you started and basically the whole thing, you initiated it.
Well, no, that's not correct. I went back and I checked the timeline. You and a few others had been talking about it, and you guys were made.
Yeah, but we haven't really.
I was made aware of that there was an idea out there to do something.
There was an idea, yeah, but no. We didn't really have anything because it was just kind of hard because obviously some people were already donating directly to him on Discord, and it was kind of hard to ask people again, hey, can you donate again?
Especially with COVID and people being out of work and reduced work and all the rest of it.
Exactly.
It was awkward. I did feel awkward asking people. I'm not going to lie.
But yeah, you played a big role as well in raising a lot of the money.
But you were the main person behind this, mate. I was just the mouthpiece, harassing people to donate. You were the person who had all the accountability. You raised the money, and in the end, you tipped in yourself the last bit to get it over the line to achieve what we did. But it was a team effort. All of us. There was no single person, and that was more what I was trying to point out. Yeah, and you can see the names there: Smoke, Ike, Brim, Happy Bomb, Spud, Spaggy, Peter Mortensen, Rhino, TW Modern, Wiidevil, Jacob Mango, El Trucco, Foxypote, Don Sibley, Alec, Bryce, Mark, Septic Falcon, Luke. So many people donated. Whether it was small amounts or big amounts, it all counted, and we were able to get him a fucking pretty decent rig, eh?
Yeah, so I tried to go for the best I could. Obviously, in this these times there's not stuff available, and I didn't really want to put an order in for like an RTX card.
Oh, would have been
That
waiting
would
till
probably
next year.
take me 3-6 months, you know. So I just went with the best next thing, with ability to upgrade, even though I know that Adam won't upgrade even if even, even if he could.
Did you see what
It's
Ike just wrote in chat? Awkward. I got a message from Boydie saying, "Send me money, asshole."
So yeah, so if you look at the other picture, the pictures of the desktop, he shows his laptop. That's his old laptop there. It's
Yep.
still showing there. That's the laptop, yes, that he made Namalsk and everything, and everything was taking so many times more like slower. It was just a lot slower,
Yep.
just because it doesn't have the power to do processing. And I went for like a simple case for him. No fancy stuff, but he can still look inside. Everything is AMD. But he can upgrade the processor and the card anytime.
It was
Yeah,
really.
good.
It just felt good to be a. Yeah, I think I replied to someone. It feels nice doing something nice for someone who's so nice. I know I said nice a hell of a lot then, but Adam's just such a. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard him get animated, like angry with someone. He's just one of the most chill people. And yes, SPJ, like Helkiana said, he did create Namolsk on that little fucking laptop you see there. So that makes it all the more amazing, you know, what he did. And yes, I know he's received a lot of donations and all the rest of it, but he's the sort of guy, he's funding service, just community service out there on Namolsk. You know, it was just such a nice thing to be a part of, Helkiana, and I'm genuinely proud of all of you for making this happen.
Yeah, I'm glad we managed to get it all done in the end. I had to wait a bit extra to get my share there.
Yep.
In the donations and all that, and I got him the monitor as well, the 27-inch, which is 170 hertz, because I knew he would get this like beast PC, and then he will have like a 60 hertz, so he will still really just play on 60 FPS. So he's able to cap those, you know, to the maximum what it can achieve.
Did he really cry when you told him?
He was in tears, yeah. But like, I don't. He wasn't crying, but he was very emotional.
Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's it. It feels good to have done something nice for such a genuinely nice bloke. He's, you know, I remember the time I got to spend with him doing the Namol Spotlight a couple of years ago, and just one of the nicest people in the DayZ community. And as a lot of us say, without him, I dread to think of the state DayZ would be in. Adam is the man right now.
He's done a lot of changes, even for DayZ itself, in the modding community. He's always listening to the modding community, which is amazing, because we all know that we struggle to be heard with some issues that we have, you know. But he always takes every single message, every single DM, he reads it, and even, you know, he might not reply to you guys, but I know he reads every single DM, and he will, you know, he might not get the time to reply because he gets so many. I had to close my DMs when I became a moderator in the Namalsk Discord because I was getting way too many DMs. So you can imagine him, how many he's getting. But he doesn't read them, even if he doesn't get the time to reply. And that is just quite amazing that he does that, you know.
DOJ's saying, can you spot the leaked Namols content on this picture? I saw someone highlighted the piece of paper. I think he did that deliberately. I'm going to guess.
It must be. It must be.
And that's the coffee mug we got him for Christmas. The podcast bought coffee mugs for a bunch of the devs and former devs.
Been using it, yeah.
And Asmondian designed the artwork for them. Yeah, that's pretty cool. A couple of little Easter eggs there. That was something nice that the podcast was able to do. Thanks to our generous Patreons and subs to the channel and stuff like that. That's pretty sweet. We sent them, that makes me feel good. I didn't even notice that. I was too worried at looking at the actual good stuff. But yeah, if you check, if you highlight the picture, someone did an enhanced mode of it, and there's some words there and a couple of little images you can sort of make out. So, yeah. Very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. So, yeah.
I hope he gets to enjoy it and maybe make new maps.
Well, I saw Septic was saying in chat he's getting better FPS in Warzone than he does, so...
And me as well. But yeah, I mean, maybe now he can stream some more as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's been struggling a lot with streaming, especially any other game other than DayZ, because of the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Did he stream and play DayZ on that laptop?
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why, because everyone was like, why do you have 25 FPS, 30 FPS? You know, it's like, because of that.
Yeah, had to be a bit rough.
And somehow, like, because he had the other monitor, right, and he was managing to still see chat and everything, and
That's insane. That's insane.
yeah, he was playing Warzone on like 60% resolution.
Wow.
So he couldn't see people far away. Like, he was like, there's maybe a pixel of someone's head or a tree or something there.
Yeah.
That's why.
He'll notice some difference now anyway.
Yeah. It's gonna be a massive difference.
No, thank you again for this idea. It was, as soon as I heard it, the sort of person I am, I love to jump in and hijack something, and yes, I kind of did that with this. But we got there, mate, and I'm really fucking hip. What do you reckon? 7-8 months it took us to finally get to this point.
So about
6
5 months.
5-6 months. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was about that.
So to all of these legends that you can see on the screen now, thank you all so much for donating to it.
Yeah, there were some names there which I didn't know who they were, so I just put their first name.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Spuddy's the head of the DayZ Down Under community. Luke's one of my personal friends. He's a really nice guy. He's an Aussie. That Mark fella, I'm not sure who.
Yeah, that was me.
So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Absolutely amazing. And there's the specs in case you're wondering.
Yeah, so he has plenty of RAM.
So what does the graphics card equate to in the current generation, for those who don't know AMD like me?
I think it's close to a 3070.
Wow.
Pretty much. It's definitely better than mine, which is a 1080.
Mm-hmm.
It does have, 12 gig of RAM for the graphics.
Yep.
Mine has only 6, so it's double.
It's a very powerful card.
And I made sure he has 2 terabytes in SSD and 2 terabytes in hard drive, and the one M2 SSD, which is for the Windows. Because he's always had a problem whenever he was like, "Oh, I want to try this game," and he was like, "Oh, I gotta delete."
Make sure he puts DayZ on an SSD. Runs so much smoother.
Yeah, I explained
well.
to him, like, you know, the M2 Windows
Mm.
small programs.
Septic saying
and
the processor is an absolute
SSD.
beast.
Yeah, it is. It's a monster.
Yeah. So hopefully that should help him with the map nav mesh thingy. Because I know that uses a lot of like the CPU, and he's gonna be able to do it faster. Because I think it was taking him like 20 to 40 minutes before.
Yep. No, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Glad to see the DayZ community getting together and helping out one of our own, because first and foremost, Adam is one of us. Yes, he might be the head of DayZ, but he was a modder before they took him on as the map guy for the team, and now he's made it all the way to lead dev. So it was good to have been able to be a part of this, and I can't thank you all enough for letting me help you out.
Yeah, thank you everyone for participating. Also, by the way, Boyd, you haven't changed your layout of the house. Who's guests?
I haven't what?
Your
The
guest
layout on the
names
stream.
on your overlay are the same from last week.
Crikey! God damn it! I'm like a fucking caricature of Australians, aren't I? Saying crikey. God, I'm such a fucking boomer. Okay, folks. Now for the main course. There's a lot of you here watching. Mario, the man of the hour. How are you, buddy?
Pretty good. Kind of anxious to show this stuff, to be honest.
Mate, since you reached out to me, I have been as giddy as a schoolgirl on prom night. The second I heard it, straight away my mind went to the possibilities with what you have come up with are endless. We had that little clip, which what I might do before we go any further is show that clip to everyone and then let you tell the story of that clip.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Because I'm a boomer, I absolutely closed my...
You're talking about the mutant, right?
Yes, the Pseudogiant. Let me just bring that clip back up again.
But play it with sound.
Yep, I'm playing it with sound.
Do you want to make it bigger? Great, that's scary.
So there you have it, folks. That is the Pseudogiant. Now, tell us the story behind the Pseudogiant. What is it? How did it start? And why is it so special?
Okay, I'm going to start first from who did it. Some people probably recognize the setting in this one, and also in the title. So this is basically the project that some people, Sismo, Dr. Q, and Doctor, started on for me to teach them, well, to try to find a good way of teaching the animation system in DayZ and write the docs based on that. So this is basically the first project they made. It's still not done, as you can see in the video, but it basically showcases what you can do with the animation docs, what's being taught there. Something I want to clarify with the docs is that it's going to be really technical. There's going to be samples and also guides based on those samples, but it's not going to take you by the hand. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly.
So basically what Mario's saying, folks, is if you paid attention during that video, that was all custom animation. That was stuff that is not in the game. Previously, or currently at the moment, there are people who are working on, like Dinos is doing a tiger animation. There's someone who's got a dog and character, which we're going to be spotlighting later. But at the moment, they're all having to rely on using the existing animations and AI that is in the game. Mario and Tyrone cracked the code, basically, in how to do this stuff custom for DayZ. So, whilst some of you may be looking at this creature, this Pseudogiant, and going, oh yeah, it's cool, but you know, it's not really what I want. In my type of DayZ, this is bigger than just this one creature. That's why I was quite often when I was sharing this out, once Mario gave me permission to, I was saying, make sure you can see the forest for the trees. A lot of people just focused in on this one creature. You know, there was comments like, geez, it died early, it's kind of slow. This is all still in development. Basically now, like, one of the first things that came to my mind was creatures in the game. You know, how many times have we said on the podcast before, Marks, you know, wouldn't it be great if boars could attack? You know, even a cow, you know, so you run up and stick a knife into the side of a cow, it's probably going to fucking kick you. Someone's going to be able to do that now, Marks.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to see something like that. Have 100% make the game.
Again, that's just one example. Like Helkiana, you as a modder, you're probably thinking of examples straight away that people can start to make massive improvements on the clunkiness of.
Yeah. From, like, as a mother, obviously, we need custom animations for a lot of stuff. We rely on current ones, which they don't always fit. It looks, you know, breaks immersion and all that. It's sometimes we just use what we have best. But I'm more curious about, because some stuff was possible so far. Just a lot of people don't know about it because we have tried, I think, as mothers. I don't want to speak on behalf of everyone, but we have tried to kind of not really share this information that it is possible to have custom animation because only one mod can have it. If a second mod had custom animations, it would override the first one, and then the first one break, kind of thing. So that's what I know from my knowledge of animation so far. So I'm curious if this new system that Mario has been working on and that can offer multiple mods to support custom animations and
Mario.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's basically the main reason for the animation framework. That's also something I want to explain, that the animation framework is not for you to create animation, is to give support for modding and current animations, the animation graph, the animation set instances, the animation set tables too, to properly mod them completely. There is basically one only way of giving proper support for that, and that's what the animation framework does. The only issue why I have not told exactly, there's only 2 people that know how that works, apart from me. And I have not told anyone else because even if they try to do that on their own modes, used to be able to have it along with the expansion, for example, they are going to break other mods. So the animation framework, also for the same reason, is going to be in community framework, because that's a mod that everyone has. Basically, it's kind of like forced on every mode and every server.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if the modder support would be there from vanilla, you know, but only on community servers, obviously. So basically what this means is that you are going to be able to, for the player to create custom emotes, to create new mechanics, to be able to create new animations for new vehicles, to create new reloads for your weapons and all that, which is kind of, well, reload for weapons is actually one of the only stuff that is properly supported. But if you want to create like new actions for your weapons, for your items, you are also going to be able to do it with this, apart from the stuff that you already had. Because right now you can do it, but you have to reuse, as Helkiana said, reuse stuff that is not supposed to be used that way. So often you end up with really buggy animations and all that. Or you get your character desynced, other types of bugs.
Yeah, or
with
you
animation
can
framework,
replace current animations as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
so the animation framework is just that full support. It's basically full modding support for it.
In chat, we've got, so the animation framework provides the isolation between the different animation and is anchored in CF like a namespace. Does that make sense to you guys?
It didn't for me, to be honest. I don't know if a language barrier, but it didn't make sense for me.
Okay. So, yeah, like Frankie's saying there, someone could do a improved infected mod. They could completely revamp the infected, and yeah, you from what I understand, SPJ, you can replace current animations.
Oh wait, there is a sensitive topic here.
Okay, yes.
Right now we don't have an official rig from Bohemia for the infected.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to animate on it, there is only 2 ways. One is going basically the legal route and the bannerize stuff, and then get your mod taken down. And the other one is actually, because you can do it, I don't recommend it at all, but you can do it. You can animate your character or your AI fully from the animation graph. But I still don't recommend it because it's a lot of work, even for stuff really simple. So that technically is possible, but not really until we get an official rig for it.
Yep. But yes, Uncle Ray Ray, again, one of the people I first thought of when I did this was a guy by the name of Danny Plays. I did a spotlight interview with him way back. And I said, you know, what's asked him the usual question I ask everyone, what's one thing you'd love to add? And his reply, if you know Danny Boy's videos, he loves to torture people. And Uncle Ray Ray's a bit the same. I see him putting there using pliers to pull people's teeth out. Someone can do that. Someone can create a mod that enables you to simulate doing things like that. Like, I'm even wondering whether someone could be smart enough to add needing to go to the toilet with your character. and add a custom animation for you taking a dump or having a pee or something like that. It's just this is what Tyrone and Mario have given is a gift to the community that it's going to be up to the community to implement and make the changes to fully realize the potential of DayZ. It's just think of anything you've ever like. There's an animation at the moment for carrying a body, but from what I understand, that just uses the log carry animation. Is that right, Mario?
I have not checked in that mod. I know there is a mod. Actually, think it's from Helkiana or Wardog. I'm not sure.
Is that right, Helkiana?
Wait, what?
The carrying a body mod that just uses the log carry animation.
Well, we both did that, but like I did it for a private server. I did it privately, and then he did it, I think, as a public mod, maybe.
So now there's the potential for someone to create a fully custom, picking the body up, chucking it over your shoulder, or even dragging an unconscious teammate. I don't know whether that's possible, whether a person's anchored to the ground or anything, but yeah, like Dr. Q saying, endless possibilities. Stuff I've been literally all week, just my mind ticking over with, for me, the big one is, we've got Essica right now, and we've got a zoo on Essica. Just imagine the animals that people can create to be roaming the lands of Essica now. Different types of bears, tigers, lions, alligators, crocodiles, God knows what else. Just, yeah.
I'd really like to see with this mod weapons get an overhaul. Mainly animations. Because if you notice, like when you reload like a bullpup rifle or something like that, it uses an AK animation, I think, or something like that. It just all looks clunky. Imagine if they were all, perfect animations for it. It would make it look so much better. So much better.
Yeah,
now sorry, Helkiana?
Sorry. It's just that how Mario mentioned earlier, I think people need to keep this in mind. Even though now it is possible, it's not going to be easy. This needs a lot of knowledge about animation and a lot of other knowledge to be able to pull this off, right? Like, for example, even if Mario shows me hand by hand how to do this, like he sits with me in Discord, I'll probably still not be able to do it right away. It will probably take me a very long time to learn animations and how to do that.
Well, on that point, how long did it take?
There's not a lot of people that know animations in the DayZ community.
How long did it take people to create this Pseudogiant? Because you told me the story behind the two people who made it, Mario.
3 people. It was 2 first, and then it was 3.
And how many hours have gone into getting it to the state that we're seeing on the screen now?
Okay, after they'll learn everything from the dogs, and when they master it, I want to believe they master it. They told me that after getting all the animations already as assets for the game, this took them 40 hours to make.
Did they have any experience of animations before?
So actually, it depends. For example, if you are going to be learning and trying to implement it while you're learning, then it's going to probably take you a while. If I remember correctly, I started helping these guys. Well, not helping me because they were actually helping me. I took them kind of like as lab rats to test my stuff and my ideas on how to teach the dogs. And if I remember correctly, it took like almost 3 months. But I wasn't teaching them each day. It was mostly every Friday, Saturday, and then suddenly 1 or 2 weeks I will not be around because of work. But they got the worst part of basically the dogs, because the dogs are structured right now based on how I saw them struggling with the concepts. In the team, in this 3-man team, only one has proper knowledge about animations. That is Dr. And Dr. Q is basically a newbie on it. And Sismo, in terms of animation, is also kind of new, but he does know programming. So they kind of complemented themselves in that way.
Yeah, so that's just what I was trying to make the point of, there's a couple, maybe a handful of people that would know how to do animations, and they might be able to get something out right away, but those people might not know the scripting. There's it's a lot involved in getting this done. So don't get too excited. We might not be seeing stuff popping like.
So it could take a year or two, technically, to see anything come up.
Well, the other thing as well, this all isn't public quite just yet. Mario's had to make some changes based on feedback from people, doing this stuff and that now. So he's not giving an exact date, but sometime soon this will all be public. You're welcome to. I'm just putting up a link to his Discord for the AI and Animators Discord. You're welcome to join that. But there's two parts to this. At the moment, we've mostly been focused on the animations. There's also AI. So could you tell us a bit about that, Mario?
Oh yeah, the docs, apart from containing information about animations, because it's really tied together, it's also going to explain how AI works in the game and how you can make your own AI, like the one you're seeing here right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be basically a doc for animation and AI. Something here that you need to understand is that if you want to make custom AI, what this means is that you actually have to do it from scratch. So it's not easy. It's going to be really hard. And if your AI is kind of simple, it might not be hard, but it's going to take you a lot of time. So I want to get that there. Also, something in the docs is that if you do not know about animation in Blender, Maya, etc., the docs are not going to teach you that. They are going to assume that you already know that, because the docs are already really lengthy, and it will be even more if we added that kind of stuff. And then we will need to update the docs for when there is a breaking update for Blender, for example, or Maya.
Now, you've been working with the Infusion AI project as well?
On the beginning, but based on the progress I have right now, I have not done nothing other than just help Radiant with certain questions.
Because from what I understand, his project is more just about adding commands for using existing animations and AI. Mm-hmm. You're basically talking about adding custom AI. So when someone adds something like a tiger, they can use a different set of AI tools as opposed to just using a wolf's AI that already exists in the game. Tigers behave differently to wolves. They're a single creature, whereas wolves are a pack. So...
Oh yeah, talking about that, because I have seen people saying modders that custom skeletons are not possible. This AI here in the video, it also has a custom skeleton.
Could you say that again, sorry?
Okay, so I want to explain this because I have seen in the DayZ modders that people have said that custom skeletons are not possible in DayZ.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to clarify that this mutant here, it has a custom skeleton.
A custom skeleton.
So it is not a repurposed wolf, for example. It's its own thing.
And we've actually got in the chat right now, we've got Dogtooth and forgot the other name. Where is it? Dr. Q. People who were involved in this project. And they've been elaborating a little bit on the practicalities of what they did. They said they actually ported the animations from Stalker. So that's something that I wasn't aware that could be done. A way of porting animations across from something that already exists.
You need to be careful because you need to update them for them to be able to work in DayZ.
Yep.
It's not just copy and paste. You have to do a little bit of work, especially because some of those animations are root motion and DayZ uses in place animations, which means that basically your mesh is going to stay in place and you are just going to move a bone, which is going to control the movement of your character, which is kind of different than how other games do it.
So Mtigiri is saying in chat, this puts DayZ at the same point as Arma 3 animations modding state, kinda?
Actually, in my opinion, the DayZ animation system is way better. By a lot. In some aspects, you can even compare it to Unreals and Unities and Cry engines.
So you've shared a lot of this information already in the Modders Discord. Are you aware of any people who've expressed interest in mods that might be of interest to people that are going to be updated using this?
Yeah, I have received a lot of DMs in the past.
Your DMs are probably flooded.
Yeah, but they always get with the same answer that there is certain stuff that I cannot release, because if I do, a lot of mods are going to pop up in the workshop that are going to break other mods because of the current limitations that there are.
Dogtooth saying there, Stalker is one of the very few titles that have express permissions laid out for people to use their assets. Porting anything willy-nilly is a great way to get DMCA'd. So, yeah, I imagine if you start porting across Fortnite dances or something like that, you're probably going to find yourself being DMCA'd, Marks.
I'd assume so, but that'd be kind of a cool mod to have Fortnite dances in the game.
You just want to floss on the top of the towers, don't you, mate?
Yes.
Kill someone and then floss over their dead body.
Okay, I send you some animations that are part of the samples for the dogs.
Okay.
Some of them I have showcased them in DayZ Modders, so some people already know them.
You have to pardon me, folks. I've just got to make this fit the screen.
Because we have only shown the character animation, but not the players.
Ooh,
that
hooks.
One is basic.
Hook punches.
That one is a slap. It kind of slides a little bit because I messed something in the logic there. So. But you can see that you can do player animations and all that stuff. In this case, a combat animation. You can legally do it for the players because the DayZ devs released the official rig for the player or survivor, basically.
Can we
ask that's a simple? That's a simple one that is basically use a coin flip. It's random too. It's simple enough for the dogs, for people to understand. So it's a bit janky, as you can see there.
The good old Slav squat.
Yeah, that's actually in a server.
Yep.
It's public. But I made it in a... It's public basically because it was made for the server. So it's not like a mod that I'm allowing people to be able to add into their mods. Or... Because I have been asked for other people if they can use this, but I have just denied.
But yeah, like people are saying there in chat, heads you die, tails you live, flip. It's little things. This is why I've been so excited. Like, I know some people are still kind of, but I don't really get it. But the amount of variation of things that are going to be able to be done now, that are just going to, like Yana Chinaris is saying, that coin toss would be OP on an RP server. I can see someone like Uncle Ray Ray and Lax Hawthorne and people who play like them running around with a coin. Call it buddy, heads or tails. You're going to live or die. And just little things that are just going to add so much extra life to this game. This is a injection of a breath of fresh air for modders and that they're now, someone said it before in chat, there's very few limitations now. Things that people only dreamed of, well, now they can do their best to make a reality. Like Helkiana said, it's not like it's simply, that an idiot like me could do it. But for those who've got the skills, the dedication, and the passion, they're going to be able to do stuff that frustrated them before Helkiana.
Yeah, of course. I would be very pleased to see some new animations coming in. And me and Zero, we worked like half a year ago on a guitar mod, but I kept having issues with even trying to release something like that because of the way animations weren't really supported. So we kind of stopped working on it, but maybe we could go back now with this framework. Because Zero knows how to do animations. While I was doing the scripting for him, it would be really cool. Have a guitar in RP servers and sit around the fire, play some songs.
Well, you were actually involved in Zero's guitar, weren't you, Mario?
Oh yeah, in the beginning, I explained him how some stuff in DayZ animation works. Basically, when he was getting started with the actual animations.
Because that was the first example I can remember seeing, Marks, was the guitar animation, and it blew my mind when I saw it. It just looked so good.
Yeah, I remember seeing that years ago, right? It looked cool, but I could see how it'd be a pain to just do something like that.
What do you see Helkiana as being one of the most exciting things?
Well, for me, AI, because
yeah,
I'm a PvE lover.
Yep.
I have a PvE server, so it's a lot of stuff like restrictions around AIs, like zombies having different types, different types of threat, that kind of stuff. That would change the game a lot for me, and having different animals as well. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, a mod to like tame dogs or something like that, and then it follows you around, be able to like attack zombies or something. That'll be like the end all.
Something like that.
I've heard about that. But I haven't seen anything about it in quite a while. But that'd be like one of the coolest mods I think to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in my mind, just think madness. In my mind, I've had an image of someone doing the whole Putin riding a bear into battle. Someone could do that now. Make it so that you could go shirtless carrying an AK, riding on the back of a bear into battle. Yeah, just imagine how cool that would be to see. You laugh, Helkiana, but it's possible now.
Yeah, it just reminds me of a meme from Namas, because there's a picture of, I don't know, I think it was a DayZ there or something.
Yep. It is a very huge breakthrough, iSnipe. Those I spoke about it when I first was hyping all of this up, and Inclement Dab, if you watch the spotlight I did with Inclement Dab, In a message chat somewhere, someone posted my tweet. Now, I want to clarify on this now because I finally can. But I said this is the biggest breakthrough since Namol Survival. A lot of people thought I was talking about Namol's the map. And no, not Namol's the map at all. Namol's the map is great. Essica the map is great. But at the end of the day, it's just a map. Namol's Survival, for me, was one of the biggest breakthroughs in DayZ. I struggle to think of something on par with it prior. There probably is, and I'm just old and being forgetful. But Namol's Survival, prior to this, prior to it, pretty much all the mods out there had been thinking. The only other one I can think of that was different was Medical Attention by Lucian Pin, and then Hell Retex's medical mod as well. But most people were just creating variations of existing stuff, new guns, and they might bring a new vehicle in, or a much stuff pack, and just giving us more stuff that we could work with. But they were still limited to using the existing framework. Namol's Survival brought in a whole new category of an element that you needed to focus on to stay alive, and that was the frostbite. If you didn't, your character suffered permanent damage, which I thought was just absolutely mind-blowing. It changed people's mentality of, wow, there's actually a new attribute that I've got to pay attention to and focus on it. And it was so out of the box. And then you added things to it like the PvE storm. People hadn't thought about, I can't, Helkiana, you might know, is there anything else like the EVR storm before that? I can't think of anything.
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of like stalker stuff that was paid for. It was like hush stuff.
Yep.
There would be like these anomalies where you'd get damage or radiation or get teleported around. Toxic
areas. Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't really anything public and on the scale of how the storm is across the map. I think that's pretty big,
So now we've got these tools, thanks to Mario and Tyrone, which have added a whole new element to the game. Like we said, things that people dreamed of. For me, it's a bit like you, Helkiana. I dream of reworked, maybe a dangerous animals mod, where animals are actually, it's not just wolves and bears you need to worry about. It's you get too close to a goat, that thing's going to attack you. A boar. For those who've hunted pigs,
definitely aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive. And from what I understand, they're filthy creatures as well. If you get attacked by one, you're getting infected. And this is all stuff that people are going to be able to rework. Am I right there, Mario?
Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, also something else, which is kind of like good news for people that use Blender. I'm also making plugins for you to be able to export directly to TXA and TXO files, which are basically the unbannerized version of AND files, which you can load in Workbench and convert to AND files or XOB files. This is because you are going to use Blender. You actually need to do a lot of extra steps to be able to import a single animation. So basically, just the importing process is going to take you for each animation. It's going to probably take you 3 minutes to 4 minutes if Workbench doesn't crash in the process. So what the plugin is going to make is basically make the same thing that Workbench does to convert to AND and XOB from FBX. Just that is just going to go as far as making the TXA and TXO, so that the plugins do not break the terms of service and all that.
See, I don't
then
fully
you're going to
understand that, but Helkiana, is that a big deal?
I don't know much about animation, sorry, so I
Okay,
don't know.
Windstrike
Yeah.
saying someone write a plug-in to export import scene M with 3ds Max. Thank you.
Yeah, that's literally the bannerizing, a bannerized file. So it's basically the same as the bannerizing of P3D.
Yep.
Which you can see the
Loud,
issues there.
basically.
Alice calls it Crash Bench. You're a wonderful, wonderful person doing this for the community, Mario. What inspired you?
I kind of like stress. So.
Mark, do you have any questions?
So when do you think it's going to be ready for public?
In a year. I'm just kidding. I will hope in a month. There is certain stuff that I need to take care of regarding that, but I will want to say that a month at most.
Are you going to be supporting this project further on?
You're asking because of my announcement?
Yes, because that's when I thought this animation stuff was
Yeah. I'm going to
done for.
No, yeah. I'm going to keep giving support for it. If people have questions, I'm going to try to answer them in DayZ models too, but if they have questions specific to animations and all that, I'm going to check mostly the DayZ animators Discord or my DMs.
That's good. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated.
So how is this getting rolled out? Like Windstrike's just said, I didn't quite get it. So is the animation framework confirmed to be coming as part of CF Tools?
Not CF Tools, Community Framework.
Community Framework,
Just
sorry.
CF. Yeah.
Yes. In the beginning, I was planning to make it standalone, but then Jacob convinced me to add it to CF. Which I don't know why I didn't think about it, but it's not going to be part of CF.
Yep. And that's one of the things I love about you guys. You know, for the most part, nearly all of you modders are more interested in just bettering this game. And if that means just, you know, instead of doing it as a standalone thing of your own, so you can claim that's mine, you're prepared to, well, no, it'd work better if we combine it with something that already exists. It's pretty good that they do that, isn't it, Marks?
Yeah, it is cool. It is cool. Probably make it a lot easier as well for people to find everything. So it's cool.
Do you have any questions for him, Marks?
No, Helkiana asked the one I was going to ask her just when it was going to be released, but so it's not too far away, thankfully.
And then we've obviously got to remember, like they've said, it's going to take some time for people to start to rework it. But just, yeah, the sky's the limit between new stuff and probably one fear I do have, and I'd be interested in your take on this, Mario and Helkiana, is are we going to end up with a million different mods or of different animations that characters can do and things like that? Or is it best if the community does it together and creates a massive, I don't know, enhanced animations pack for servers to add?
Well,
Okay, let me explain.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
How the animation framework works there. So basically, what the animation framework is going to allow you is to basically mod this stuff exactly how you mod other stuff in DayZ. So you are going to be able to have one mod and kind of adding some sort of inheritance in the framework for the animation system, for the mods and all that you have. So you are going to be able to take someone's implementation of the animation graph or something and extend it or override stuff on it, etc. And also you are going to have a proper dependency resolution on it, so you are going to be pretty much safe on modding whatever you want. And also there's going to be a debug version of it that is aimed for developers, so that they can actually see how stuff is being loaded in the game based on other mods and all that.
Helkiana, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's very good because a lot of people, ask me even for regular stuff, well, can I repack this stuff that you made and to modify this? And it's like, no, you can mod my mod same way you mod the vanilla, and that's basically how it's gonna work with the animations as well. And in terms of your question, Boydie, about if it should be, like a mod with loads of animations, I'm not sure that's gonna work well. I think if you bring something out like new weapons and totally new animations, they will probably just have their own. There might need to be some kind of more sharing in the community in some ways, depending on what kind of animations. If you make a new type of animation for a specific sniper that fits multiple snipers, it could be shared in between mods.
Mm-hmm.
Without having the dependency in between them. How would that work, Mario? Like, if, for example, if I say animation A is in mod 1 and animation A is also in mod 2, if they have the same name or registered the same way, would it be?
The framework is going to force you to, well, not force you, but well, technically force you, because if you do not do this, then the animations are not going to work.
Okay.
Basically, the name of your mod is going to be kind of like attached in metadata to your animation and your implementation. So if another mod wants to set a dependency based on your mod, they can do it. And if another mod wants to say, okay, I want my mod to be injected directly to after this implementation has been made, which is your mod basically, then they can do that too. So if you are asking about how extending stuff is going to be, then you are going to have a little more
about
control.
conflict when two mods have the exact same thing. If it's gonna conflict. I don't know too much about animation, so I could be off.
Oh yeah. Okay. When you are going to, for example, do something in the graph, you are going to have 3 options on how to add stuff to it. One is to completely replace stuff from one node on another node. The other one is to extend, and the other one is to mod. So modding is basically kind of like taking what is already there and kind of modify it in if you want. And the extend one is basically appending something else on the root node of whatever you pointed it to. And replace is basically just removing what is mod added and change it with your own implementation. And then your mod is going to be basically, when it's being processed, it's going to be basically treated as the implementation of the mod you replace, in case of you replacing it. So other mods that kind of want to load stuff on top of that, they are not going to start having problems because they are going to take yours instead of that one. Okay. But also in the docs, it's going to be heavily advised to be really careful when you are replacing. Extending and modding is pretty much safe, but replacing is just when you literally just don't want that behavior and you want to change it with your own, be that just disabling it or just changing it to be actually better.
Yeah, makes sense.
Judging on some of the comments in chat, Mario, I think after this, mate, you need to get into doing some ASMR videos. Mario, Erno said that your voice always makes him relax.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Mario, are you actually going to be making a mod using this yourself? Are you going to be? Is there something that you've always felt that these tools would be best used for?
I mean, to be honest, my main reason of modding DayZ has been mostly to improve the modding community. So if you go to my workshop page, you are going to see that I do not publish mods.
Yep.
I have one which is basically for the Karma Crew server, which is a server that I manage. I manage in the sense that I'm the server manager. And that's it, but I don't upload mods. I don't make mods for players to use, basically. Because it's not what really drives me. You asked me what's exactly what motivated me to start this project. It was mostly because I'm really stubborn and I really like solving impossible problems, if you want to call it like that. And then when I start on a problem, I get really stubborn, and then I cannot just stop until I find a way of doing it.
I'm excited, mate. I'm excited, and you know, this is not any idiot like me can do it, but for those with the skills and the knowledge, and even just the determination, you've really reinvented this game for everyone. Yeah, Dr. Q, you're welcome to jump into the Discord, mate, because it'd be good to actually speak to someone who's worked with these tools. Because I imagine there's a lot of people out there going, how easy is this going to be? And like Helkiana just said in chat, you'll still need knowledge of animations in Blender or Maya. You know, I've got no idea what Blender or Maya are, but if you jump into the general channel, mate, in the Discord, and I'll add the role for you so you can join us. But I'm excited, Marks. I'm fucking hyped for this. It's just that the possibilities are endless now. And even for PvPers through to PvEers and everyone in between, there's going to be something for all of us, Marks.
Yeah, there is. It's just we have to wait. We're going to have to wait a couple of months, and hopefully we'll get some cool mods out of it. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But the possibilities are endless.
Hopefully we will see some animations in mods finally. That's the dream, Pindai. You know, it's great having all these different guns and you know, even one of the things I think of straight away, that's going to be a nice, easy quality of life mod, is a rework of those ATM mods at traders Marks. You know, someone's going to be able to do a custom animation that instead of you just doing a check pulse on the machine, is actually a custom animation of you typing on the screen and maybe reaching out to get your money or putting money in, and just little things that are just going to so improve this game. G'day, Erno.
Yeah, what's up, fellas?
Oh, how we doing?
So talk us through it, mate.
Yeah, I haven't just tuned in, and well, Mario told me about this podcast, but I just tuned in, and I don't know what's been talked about already, but yeah, maybe we should wait for Dr. Q. Dr. Q knows everything about the like how to work with the tool and what he did to make it work. I just have information of Stalker Z, basically.
And I'm glad you're feeling much better, mate. It was really unfortunate timing, you getting sick during the whole creators thing, mate.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. I went to the hospital like 2 times. I'm going again Wednesday, and they keep giving me IVs, and they're helping. So, yeah, I'm doing a lot better. But thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, can I?
Sorry, go for it.
I want to say something related to what Winstride said. I'm making the plugins for Blender only because it's the only program I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me explaining that the docs are going to be technical is also that for the file formats that are human readable, by that I mean that they are not pannerized. The entire syntax, the grammar, everything you need if you want to make your own tool is going to also be there. So if someone that currently has 3D Max or Maya and they know how to do plugins there, they can do it there. And they can also ask me how certain stuff is specifically treated. Because it turns out that in Fusion, it does need the bones to be treated a certain way when you are exporting them. So if they have troubles with that, they can just send me a DM or ask in the DayZ animators or in DayZ modders if they want.
See, even there, Pixel Chrissy saying in chat, I use Blender and would love to know how to make some mods. I can see a lot of collabs happening now, Helkiana, between modders and artists, and maybe some cross-pollination of skills.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like of course, I don't really know. I barely made a box in Blender, to be honest.
Mhm.
I've tried really hard to learn it, but honestly, I would rather do the scripting side. So I'm always like looking. I've paid a lot of money, like a lot of money throughout the years of modding, for 3D models, and then I would bring them into DayZ. And if someone is interested in DayZ mods and the community and helping, by making animations and stuff like that, would be amazing because they do that part, and then I will do the scripting side of it.
Well, there you
where
go, Pixel Chrissy. You need to send her or him a whisper right now, and maybe the next big thing has been done. Dr. Q, g'day, buddy.
Hello.
Talk us through it, mate.
Can you hear me well, first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I'll get chat to confirm as well whether your volume's okay. Just count to 10 or something.
All right. So, okay. Hi, my name is Dr. Q, and part of Stalker Z. So yeah, like a few good months ago, I've seen a floating around model done by Doctooth of Pseudogiant, and it was his like a side project of sorts, and yeah, it was just his own take on the Pseudogiant that everyone knows from the Stalker games. So I thought to myself, how cool would it be if we could actually put it in game? Well, obviously it was the assumption of doing so from the beginning, I think, but there was no real way of doing that other than just putting it on an existing skeleton, and maybe somehow doing the weight painting, and maybe using the animations that were in the game. But then comes Mario and says it's actually possible to do different way, and I am in the process of making a project that actually makes it possible to do it the proper way from ground up. So yeah, he took us under his wings, both me and Doctooth. Doctooth was responsible for the more of a artistic side. He's a very talented modeler. Yeah, and I wasn't talented in anything, to be honest. And I think that's what sparked interest in Mario, because I I really wanted to do it. I didn't know how, and I think Mario put it very well. We were just lab rats for him to see if the docs that he's making were actually a valuable source as a learning material. So yeah, that I think we both had very good use out of each other, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so first of all, it has to be said that Mario is a great teacher, and he made sure that we could understand the subject, and not only the thing that has to be done, but the overall thing. So hats off to him for that, because before he actually started teaching me the important stuff, he told me to actually find out how the AI works in general. So he pointed me to a course, online course, so I could actually delve deeper into what actually controls the AI, what an AI controller is, what's the difference between the AI controller and the player controller, and what's consisting, what the AI consists of, like yeah, but and many other things, like state machines and so on and so on. And these were things that I've never heard of. Well, I've been using it from as a player since I could remember, but I never actually asked myself what actually and how actually it all works. So yeah, Mario gave me the opportunity to do that. The history of Pseudogiant was pretty simple. Luckily for us, the Stalker Z, all the assets that are in vanilla Stalker games are allowed to be used upon to a certain degree, and it's been done before on the map, the area of decay map. It's been done before on many other mods. Also in feed off, yeah, and many other many other ones. So we thought that maybe we could actually use the assets that are present in that game. So the next step was actually trying to extract the files from the game, which is allowed to do by the authors, yeah, GSC Games. And I admit it was kind of interesting, because the tools that are provided for that environment are pretty outdated. They hardly work on Windows 7, let alone Windows 10. And yeah, it involved jumping through many hoops, but it's actually possible to extract pretty much everything, maybe not everything, but exactly what we needed. So animations, models, textures. So yeah, but still, we wanted to use the model that was provided by Dogtooth. So we actually just put on the mesh of what Dogtooth did. We fixed, I mean, he did fix the weight painting. He put it on the rig that was provided from the game files, and yeah, then Mario just taught me. It was a very long process, because we all live in different time zones. So yeah, he basically taught me how to do it, how to actually use the animation editor in the Workbench, which I have to admit, uh, as a whole community, we really don't appreciate what's inside of the Workbench. I know it's sometimes it has its own humors and crashes a lot, but now that we know how to do certain stuff, um, the Workbench is flourishing to be the environment that everyone will want to use. Uh, it has its own caveats, and we will have to find ways around some things. But yeah, and I personally wish it was more developed. Hopefully, maybe this breakthrough will uh, show show Bohemia Interactive that it has potential for use, and hopefully it will have use in their future titles. At least I personally hope so. So yeah, all the magic happened in the Workbench. Sometimes it was a painful experience, but yeah, in the end, it was worth it. And I just did all the work on the assets, and then I gave it to the head developer of Stalker Z, going by the name of Sismo, and he was able to do the magic I could not, because I do not have the background. Well, I don't have any background at all regarding the scripting or anything animations at all. I just started learning from the moment we started working with Mario. I mean, I had some experience in Object Builder with simple constraint animations, but yeah, um, this was something new that was out of my field because I had to learn how to use Blender. I had to understand many things I had no idea of, basically. So
Like,
yeah,
I'm excited to see what people can do with the Bloodsucker for Namolsk.
yeah. So at the moment, the Bloodsucker that is being used in public, that comes from the FIDOF mod, is just a mesh put on the rig of human or a zombie or infected. Yeah, infected in specific. But now it can be done the proper way. It can have all the animations that we all know and cherish from the original Stalker games, etc., etc. But I really want to come back uh, to the point where I said about Sysmo's work. So, like I said, I just prepared the assets, nothing else, and I gave it to Sysmo because the AI, which Mario did try uh, to teach me, and to some degree I do understand, and I have a very basic knowledge of scripting in scripting the AI ground up. It's possible, it's doable, but and like I said, I don't have the scripting knowledge to do it actually. So we gave it all to Sismo, and he is the mastermind of putting everything together. And he really deserves a big round of applause for this because, yeah, uh, he did the most important thing, the most important work, I think. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
if I
think
can
that's
add, uh, yeah, Sismo is like Sismo did everything for Stalker Z pretty much. Well, recently, together with Dr. Q. But the the thing about Dr. Q and Sismo is that they're developers of Stalker Z, but unlike, well, I think most communities, I can't say for sure because I don't know what's going on there, but my experience before working with different developers is that you always had to ask them to do stuff, pay them, ask them like how's it going, keep pushing them to make your stuff that you wanted them to make you, or pay them. The thing with Sismo and Dr. Q is that they work 100% from passion. I haven't told them probably for over a year to make anything because they make everything from passion. Every minute they have free, I feel like they already spend it on making the server better, and just it's insane working with these guys because sometimes I don't really keep track of what's going on, and like a week down the road they've made like 3 new things, and yeah, it's crazy how they work with each other, so yeah, they deserve all the credit in the
Just
process.
Mario,
Yeah, I mean, like the credit, like the credit of like the server itself as well. It's just like, yeah,
Mario shared a message with me that I want to read to everyone, and this is from is that Susmo?
yeah,
It might not be a big thing for you, but it certainly is for us. Some good amount of hours have been put into it all across the development team, and we are very proud to present the first custom animated AI in DayZ. So let that sink in, folks. We are very confident that this will shake DayZ mods to come once the information is made public. First, I want to thank a few people involved in this, without them, it would not have been possible. Mario for tutoring us in how the animation system in DayZ works, Dr. Q for porting over the animations for them original games, and I have no idea what that is, for creating the model of the giant. The original...
Doctors.
Sorry?
yeah. That's Dogtooth.
Oh, Dogtooth.
Yeah.
The original Stalker games are quite old, and so are the systems used. The animations are not made for DayZ, so there are some glitches and or behaviours which are not 100% polished. Overall, we still think that the outcome is phenomenal, especially considering that that this is, as said, the first custom animated AI in DayZ. With all the knowledge we gathered over the recent weeks, we will also start bringing other mutants from the original game to DayZ. Next up will be the Burra. Enough said. Here you go with a preview of what to expect in game once the giant is added, and it will be added soon. Trademark. Weeks, not months. So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal, folks.
Yeah, you can pretty much. This was kind of what was missing from the DayZ tools, and the fact that Mario has taken it upon himself to make this tool. I can only think how complicated this is, and he's a smart guy, so he likes a challenge like this, I guess. But yeah, it must have been painful to make, nonetheless. But if you get the right people on this, people who are willing to learn it, um, you can make anything that people made on, well, Arma 3, for instance, that people are missing, like regarding custom animations.
Now,
Yeah,
I've
it'd
just
be really
shared in the
interesting.
Discord the Stalker Z, and we'll bring it up again at the community spotlight at the end. But the sorry, not I just shared in the Discord. I just shared in the stream the Stalker Z Discord. These guys have got the jump on everyone with custom AI. They've got people who understand it now. So if you really want to be able to get a feel for it in game, because watching it on screen is one thing, but as you saw with that AI, as the creature moves, it shakes the world. Basically, it shakes your player. When it does its slam attack, it shakes your player as well. So if you want to get a really good first-hand feel for what it's like, there's the Discord, which will have all the information for the server. Jump in there, and you'll get to see what these guys and girls from the Stalker Z team are capable of.
I'd just like to add that it's been mentioned before, but before we see anything, it will take some time, definitely. But yeah, the preparation of assets was cumbersome for me. But then again, have in mind that I worked with stuff that was already done, ready. Just it needed to be repurposed and made available to the other engine. But if someone is to do something really ground up, then it will take some time, because not only the person will have to have the knowledge in the animation, the person will need to know how to rig, how to weight paint. Then he or she will have to know how to export, import in the proper format, etc., etc. So it will take some time, but yeah, the possibilities will be endless, and it's a pity that yeah, this is what was what always is mind-boggling to me, that this was always in front of us. As soon as the DayZ tools and the Workbench was released for us to use, it was always in front of us. It was just a bit caught and hidden, per se, yes. But with knowledge by Mario, uh, it's actually now, it will be possible soon, once the documents are out in public. And I really hope that people will you will use it to the fullest and come up with most amazing things. Yeah, fingers crossed for Hogwarts RP.
Pindai, if you've got any links, mate, if you could whisper them to me, I'll try to remember to include them in the video when it goes live. Because I'm guessing there's going to be some people who would like to try this out themselves to see, and I encourage people to, if you've got that sort of creative, artistic mind, to see what you can come up with. The more, the merrier.
Yeah, well, possibilities are endless here.
There you go. I forgot we had a vanity URL. Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go because I was still in game. But thanks for having me, guys.
No worries, mate. Thank you for coming on.
No
Love
problem.
you.
So there's the Stalkers Z Discord, folks. So 8,752 members, 3,201 of whom are online right now. So jump in there and join the server, and you'll be able to check out what these amazing people are all doing. Thanks to Mario and Tyrone, who slept in. I'm not going to hold that against him, though, are we, Mario? He threw you to the wolves, mate. Has anyone in chat got any final questions for Mario before we move on with the rest of the podcast? Oh, yes, there's a question. iCol78. Any scope for two-player emote animations like Team Fortress 2's High Five? Cup hands to boost a squad mate over a wall, stuff like that.
Technically, you can do that type of animations, but those are the most complex one, and you need to take care about synchronization issues.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, you can.
Okay. Pixel Chrissy's asking in chat, where can we get the DayZ Workbench file with the skeleton rig for Blender?
Which skeleton? For what? The player?
I'm guessing they mean for the player, yeah.
The DayZ devs released it a while ago. You can search it in GitHub. It's called DayZ Miscellaneous. I think it was called like that.
Yep.
So search on Google DayZ Misc. You will find it there.
What, the rig?
Mm-hmm.
I can share the link.
Erno wants to know, how do I grow a beard? That's a question for you, Mario.
I don't know how to explain that. I don't actually like having the beard, to be honest.
Is that actually you in the picture there, mate?
Yeah.
You're a handsome rooster, aren't you?
Also, I think this rig that is shared by the devs is actually not that great.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one in Mother's Discord in the animation channel. I think it's
no, actually, the only one that is going to work for weapons animations
Right.
is that
I
one.
don't know. It was kind of fucky when I tried to put in Blender.
It's not for Blender. It's for 3D Max. And it won't work.
No, the
work
the,
with
the
Blender
FBX
properly.
one is
No, the
not great.
FBX one is for Maya. The issue is that if you export it from Blender,
Right.
you have empties that are not in the armature. So they are going to be treated as disconnected bonds, and they are going to be basically bonds at the same level of the pelvis, which is going
Right.
to mess up your animations. You can correct that in the TXA file and the TXO file if you want to make it an XOB. But it's really annoying, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So something that the plugins do too, because of how they handle stuff in Bohemia for these rigs, is that when you export it directly to TXA from the plugin, it's going to recognize those empties. It's going to check to what they are related to, and it's going to convert them basically to bonds. Because basically those disconnected bonds, in Maya, it does convert them basically as bonds parented, parented to the pelvis and all that. But Blender doesn't do that. So that's why it gets messed up with Blender.
Yeah, but if anyone does use Blender.
Yeah, use the one in modders. Just be aware that weapon animations are not going to be possible with that one.
Yeah.
So hang about. Just sorry, clarify that. You can do weapon animations, but not using Blender.
Yes, you can, but it's not going to be as easy as doing them in Maya or 3D Max.
Okay.
And apart from that, when you load the FFX in Blender, you are going to need to reconstruct the armature because it's going to be messed up because it's not for Blender. So that's why you end up with problems with Blender because it was not made for Blender.
Okay. Well, if there's no final questions, Mario, you are a fucking godsend to the community, mate. I guarantee you're probably half the people in chat are only hearing your name for the first time today, mate. I hadn't heard of you. I'd heard of Tyrone Biggins, but I hadn't heard of you until you reached out to me. I was like, what the hell? What's all this about? And then it just completely took me by surprise, mate. You modders are a godsend to this game we all love. Absolutely blows my mind that someone managed to do this, thought to do this and managed to do it. Yes, it'd be great if BI had these sort of tools for us, but they don't. So the community's taken it upon themselves to allow this game to be all it can be. And for that, we can't thank you enough. You don't like praise, do you, Mario?
Yeah, I don't.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I cannot be uncomfortable.
Seriously though, mate, you've reinvented this game. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's amazing the pure scope. Like for me personally, mate. For those who follow me, I'd actually been playing a lot of Scum of late. I was losing a bit of passion for playing DayZ, and between Essica and this, I've played probably about an hour of Scum, and the rest of my time has been back in DayZ. Just my mind just running at 1,000 miles an hour with the possibilities. Probably a similar vein to you, Helkiana, with the PvE side of things. Just what this game's going to be capable of now.
Yeah.
Like I imagine different bear attacks now. So something like what's that movie, Legends of the Fall, with the big bear attack at the end of it, or is it Revelation? The bear picking you up and shaking you, and just the things that are going to be possible. What are you most looking forward to, Marks?
Probably weapon animations.
Yep.
Whenever that'll be, that'll probably be the big one.
For all these custom guns that are out there.
Yeah.
Time to make the bear from Annihilation. Yeah, LMG reloads. That'd be something cool to see. Reloading belt ammo onto a machine gun. Right, we are going to move on with the rest of the podcast. Mario, you're welcome to hang around, mate, or you can take off. I know you're a shy guy. Same for you, Helkiana and Dr. Q. You're welcome to hang around or take off. But we've got a number of other things. If you do have any questions, I'll bring it up again now. That is the Discord AI and Animators Discord. It's gonna be where everything gets released, and you'll be able to share thoughts and ideas with like-minded individuals, or just follow what's happening in the community. So it's exciting times, folks. It's really, really exciting times. Doorknobs turning when opening doors. Need those bullpup animations. You've given a lot of people a lot of hope and excitement for this game, Mario, and we can't thank you and Tyrone enough.
Yep, I would like to personally thank Mario for the patience. Yeah, it was a very wild journey, and I hope we'll continue.
Keep us
And thanks for
updated as
having
well,
me.
Dr. Q. If you do any more videos like this one, keep us updated just so we can show people. Because, like, a lot of people, when they watched that clip, they were like, oh, geez, it's kind of slow, or geez, it died easy, and things like that. But this is still work in progress, isn't it?
It was a development build for sure. It was just to present that you can damage it, and it can change the walking animation to being partially
Injured.
injured. Yeah, exactly like the zombies would do.
Very exciting
Oh, yeah.
times ahead for everyone, Mario.
Oh yeah, something I want to clarify. These states that Dr. Q is talking about, it doesn't have to be the vanilla behavior too.
Yeah,
So if you want to make it so that for some reason your mutant, in this case, can fly and do a really weird attack in the air, you can make it.
yeah, you're the master of it, and you can control it however you want. You just need to create certain states, certain variables for it, and control them in the animation graph, which hopefully the community will find soon enough about. Thanks for having me, guys, and
You're welcome, Dr. Q.
really,
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you, and I really hope it is. It will be exactly what we think it will be. Really a breakthrough in DayZ lifetime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A massive breakthrough. Massive breakthrough. Someone can do horses now, folks. And custom AI for a horse. Custom skeleton for a horse. Custom riding a horse. And a bear. I still want to ride a bear into battle.
Take care, guys. Bye.
All the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop off as well. I'm probably gonna go back to some Warzone and then Atlas. So.
No worries, mate. Mario, you going to hang around in case there's any more questions from folks?
Okay.
No worries.
Have fun. Bye.
Bye.
See you now.
Okay, so let me just jump to the right channel. There we go. Wobo released a video, folks. Sound changes. Because there'd been a lot of chatter about it, Marks, but it was good to see the dev team actually reply that they've taken this stuff on board.
Yeah, It was good. They've taken a lot of stuff on board over the past week since the update came out, and big fix coming soon.
The sound changes were pretty terrible, I've got to admit. I did not like, a lot of people said it, but everyone kind of waits for Wobo. Wobo's kind of like the, in Wobo we trust. And once he did his video on it, showcasing just how much it had changed, it was a bit disappointing. I'll share the link to the video. Tascaffey, join this Discord, mate, that I just shared in there. That's where everything will be shared. And yes, Dumpgrey, you are right, motorcycles. I know Jacob Bango's been working on motorcycles, so now it'll actually look like you're getting on a motorcycle, hopefully, rather than sitting in a car. Just little things like that, Mark, are going to make such a big difference.
Yeah, they are 100%.
But no, it was good that they did acknowledge that the changes were not liked by people.
Yeah, I think it's because if 2 or 3 people had been complaining about it, they wouldn't have said a thing. But everyone was complaining about it, so they had to do something.
They did,
and with a quick fix as well. They're coming out very quick with one, so we can just hope that next week now will be a good one for it.
Exactly. Now you had a tweet through the week.
Yeah.
You good?
Shots like here by piano somewhere. Yeah, piano right in front.
Hit him.
He's down.
Yeah.
Still someone else, I think, though.
Yeah, another guy on the right side. I think he got shot.
On me, I couldn't even fucking aim. I go right on my body, dead on my body. That's close.
Which I replied to. Basically, Durlip and I had a pretty good chat about it as well. Bit conflicted while being on the receiving end is bloody frustrating. I like that getting hit actually affects you. Being able to return fire without some kind of disadvantage is just too arcadey. But I'd say do it with violence way. Nobody likes being unable to do shit. And I actually talked with a few people about this, Marks. And initially, I was, no. You got outplayed tactically. But eventually I ended up coming around, mate, to Durlep's point of view. That, it comes back to Tope's tweet last week with it's a game, it's got to be enjoyable. And just, you got completely fucked then. You were stun locked. So, there was nothing you could do.
I'll say this just before you keep going on any further. That fella did outplay me. I was there at the piano house that you see there. There was PvP and shots going down there. When going into that, you can clearly see him in the bush, but when you're in the heat of that moment, I'm concentrating on that piano house and nothing else. I wasn't checking the bush next because I generally didn't think anybody would be in him. So he did get me by surprise, and I admit that. I'm not saying that, it was
someone else,
stupid that way.
Yeah, another guy on the right side.
He did get the jump on me 100%, but not being able to raise my gun to even have the slightest fighting chance of maybe hitting him. I wouldn't have cared if I didn't kill him or anything like that, but having no chance to even raise that gun and fire even a single shot, to save myself was quite, it pissed me off a bit that time. And
I pretty much came around to what they need to do instead of stun locking you is add a basically like maybe hip fire, maybe not aim down the scope, but hip fire with a you see in those games where it has like the little circle, and the more you're running or whatever, the circle gets bigger, and that's showing where your shot could land. So you still get the potential for a miracle shot, but there's a massive penalty for you got outplayed.
Oh yeah, I got outplayed, and
not you individually in this case, but in general.
Yeah, like I was running an FN file. Even if I don't expect to be able to ADS in that situation, but be able to hit fire. And technically, if I do hit him with a 308, he's going to be hurting from that distance because he's right next to me. He was he was shooting a 5.56. I'm nearly starting up by the sounds of it. I could be wrong, but you know, my 308, if I was able to hit fire, could have, if I landed a shot, could have been able to, you know, do some damage there and maybe knock him out, maybe not, you know. But
Were you
having
wearing
no
a plate
chance at
carrier?
all. Yeah.
Yep. I know they
Fully
said they're going to
decked out.
buff the plate carrier, but yeah, it's. I totally
Yeah,
get
well,
the frustration now. Initially, I didn't, but I totally get the frustration with. Well, that's it for me. It's basically.
And
there's
I
nothing I
don't
can do.
mind. I don't mind people landing their shots first or being sneaky. Like he was very sneaky there, and he 100%, you know, wins that situation. But it's just that was silly. Like, you know, having no possible way of fighting back, just no chance whatsoever. Just yeah, you know, it was silly, but yeah.
It was an interesting discussion, though. I learnt a bit about other people's perspective be on the PvP side of things. I still think that the person deserves a massive advantage, but just to totally remove any... Yeah, you can still say it comes down to awareness and all the rest of it, but you just watch it. He's just bang. There's nothing he can do.
Nothing you can do. No. Can't even run. Can't even run from that situation. You're standing there and you just have to take the shots. There's nothing else you can do about it.
Yeah, they've got to give the plate carrier a bit of a buff, because was this a no stamina server or?
Yeah, no stamina modded server. A lot of people were running just pure, you know, 308 guns or at least fully automatic guns, and so it was a lot of time you had to have the advantage in a server like this to win your gunfights. But yeah, I don't know. It was still just a shitty situation.
See, that to me is something that needs to be considered as well. The fact that it was a no stamina server, because then they're going to buff plate carriers based on a server where it's okay. That's more food for thought. It's hard to make a suggestion for a change to an item that absolutely destroys your stamina. Interesting.
Yeah.
Dump Grab, what did you have to say, mate?
Oh, I was just waiting for a good time when you guys are done.
No, go for it, mate.
So I have pretty exciting news too. I didn't talk about it because I wanted Mario to get all of his stuff out, because I thought that was really cool and I really wanted to see it. But me and Damien Forge and Iceblade have been working on something that we thought the entire community would really want to see. And we announced it today with a demo video. Just waiting for Damien.
Probably shared it with me.
Yeah, I'll share it with you in just a quick second. Well, while I wait for Damien, you guys can keep talking about what you need to talk about. Then I'll be so kind to interrupt.
That's all right, mate. Here we go.
He's gonna jump in general.
Alright, so here is the demo of the last mod. So, I'll show you everything that works. Just track this, post it. Dynamics radio is on. Alright. All the guns are loaded. Alright. So we're going to go to the terminal. And we're going to click on the map we wish to travel to. So I'm going to choose the mouse for this configurable transfer timer. can be set to anything. Once the countdown is finished, it will kick you out and reconnect you automatically. And once you connect in, you have to set spot on that server. And as you'll see, you'll have a health protection. Well, once that's over, this is to help prevent griefing of people just camping your potential spawn points.
Are these servers in a hive?
Yep. There's Damien. Someone could drag him.
Everything's still the same.
So yeah, Boydie, Damien Forge, myself, and Iceblade have made a hive mod that allows you to transfer between servers, between maps, with your character data.
This is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie, Marks.
Yeah, it's cool, alright. Yeah, the concept is cool for sure. I don't understand how it works, so how does it work?
Well, it's a pretty simple process. What it does is when you go up to a terminal, it saves the character's data to a API, which is essentially like a database that is on the interwebs instead of onto a local hard drive, right? And then what it does is when it deletes your character off that one server, what's called server A, and when you spawn on server B, it pulls the information from the web database and spawns you in with all of your gear and everything else on server B. Technically, if you die on server B and log on server A, you'll still spawn as a Bambi. If you die on server A and log on server F, you'll still spawn as a Bambi.
Right.
I think it's a novel idea. I really do. For servers it's the big thing I see for it, Marks, is where you've got communities. And just say, I'll use DayZ Down Under, for example. In the past, they've had up to 3 servers. They've had a Livonia server, a Chernarus server, and a Namol server. A lot of people don't play them all because they don't want to have to rebuild a character for every separate server. But I remember back in the early days when there were hives and your character could be used across several servers. Even third person and first person, as long as they were on the same hive. So this is bringing it back. This is allowing cross-server raids, like Cole says. For certain communities, this is fucking massive.
That's where it can get a bit tricky, though. So I'm looking at it as a PvP perspective. I don't see this working for a PvP server for the simple fact that we'll take base raiding, for example. You have a base on, we'll say, in the Mosque server, and we'll say you have a crew of people, and some of your crew are on Chernarus server, for example, and maybe there's 1 or 2 of your crew playing, or you and another person on your crew is playing on the Namask server, doing loot runs or whatever you do, and you come back to find your base is being raided and you get killed, something like that. You can now tell your other crew that may be on the Chernarus server you're getting raided. Then they can go to their Chernarus base if they have one, grab their best loot. They can then teleport to the next server and then fight against the people raiding the base, which I think is a little bit unfair.
No, it's not.
Because
you just described what happens on every server that already uses one map.
Not really.
They see their base getting raided. They end up dying. They tell their buddies. Their buddies get a bunch of gear. They go over there and they end up wiping the people raiding the base.
Yeah, but usually when you have a base on a PvP server, your high-tiered, most valuable loot is in that base. Your 50 cals or whatever it might be. Where it kind of comes in is if you have these big like 50 cals and stuff, I'm looking at now as kind of highly modded servers as well. And if you have your 50 cals on a Chernarus server in the base, you go and get them over, and then all of a sudden you have all these buys rolling into the normal server, geared to the teeth with level 3 armor, 50 cals rolling up, and just being able to destroy everything. Seems a bit overpowered, but that's just my opinion on it.
Well, see, what you're thinking about is you're thinking about each map having its own ecosystem essentially. But if you were a responsible server owner who had a PvP server, you would actually work out to make only certain maps have certain loot, or you would make the loot distributed across the maps equally. And then that could equally make things different as well as very unique, right?
Classic
But
example
there
would
are some
be,
issues.
let's use day one, for example. At the moment, if you play day one, you have to have a character for day one, number one. Day one, number two, you need a separate character. Day one, number three, you need a separate character. Day one, number four, you need a separate character. Day one, number five, you need a separate character. They can set this up so that the people can travel the same character, no matter which server. Yes, they're going to have to get back onto the server that they were logged off on to get to the transportation device, but it now allows you to have one character across multiple servers. If your mate says, "Oh, I've got a character geared on number 3," no worries, I'll get myself and transfer over to you. It's for certain communities. I see your point, Marks, but for certain communities, this is going to be game changing for them.
Damien.
That's the video link right there, folks. I am quite excited about it. I had no idea this was coming. Horses for courses. It won't be for every server, definitely, Marks. But for a lot of it, like Dumpgrass said, it's going to come down to the community admins of making sure that each of the servers is balanced. If you've got one that's a high loot and one that's a low loot, then you wouldn't link those together. But if they're all like the day one servers, essentially exactly the same, just a whole pile of separate servers, to allow as many people to play that style of server, then this is a no-brainer for them.
Maybe, yeah.
Damien's saying he can't talk.
Oh, hang on a minute. I didn't. 1 second. Didn't even know he was here. Bing.
He said he thinks it's his end.
No, it's possibly mine.
Okay, he'll be back.
There we go. You should be able to now.
He'll jump back in general when he's back. But what's cool is that if you die on, let's say you have 10 servers that are hived together. If you die on one of the servers, you die on all the servers. What's cool too is if you log on off server F, and let's say you connect to server A, like 3 hours later, it will actually redirect you to server F. It will actually kick you off server A and redirect you back to server F if your character exists only on server F. And because all the servers will have to share the same mods, what people can do is, hey, I have a server and let's say it has some weapons that are really powerful. You can actually set up scripts inside the mods to check the server IP, and if the server IP exists, it can like remove things or do different things. It could be a lot of fun. Hey, Damien.
Hey, sorry. Yeah. Now you can hear me, all right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. So yeah, so I understand, Mark, what your concerns were when it comes to like, players checking for one. The way I was hoping this would be looked at would be less of now you got all these servers work, like, you're trying to treat them all, more trying to look at DayZ as a bigger map than one map, right? So you would be treating this more as like, because if you're treating this as like, Namalsk is maybe just an island off the coast of Chernarus, where yes, you have to go to a transfer point to move between the two parts, just because little too. There could be potentially automated thresholds that you can walk over and script that all, but um, again, that's something a little bit more future looking down the road at. But the idea is more to maybe look at this. You now run a massive map instead of one. A bunch of separate servers. Theoretically, there'd be nothing stopping you from running multiple Chernara servers that you could switch back and forth from, but that's not the intention of what the mod for my end is for. But I don't want to potentially restrict that opportunity if a server sees potential for running more than one Namalsk.
Like you're saying in chat, I have 7 servers on different maps. How do I get this? Give me now. So there are people out there that this is going to massively appeal to, particularly when you have, like you said, there's not many communities that are like Day One, which have 5 servers for Namalsk, just because it's that popular right now. But there are communities out there where people want to be able to play across different maps, but with the same character. It's a common question I see. Can I use the same person across different maps? Well, sadly, no. Now, yes you can. You just need to get to the designated transfer point, and you'll be able to move from this map to the next map.
And there'll be things like server owners can set costs of how much it costs to go from one map to another, what items are accepted to travel. There'll be even like possible in the future you can make certain amount of X food and X water be removed from the player from traveling from one map to another. Lots of potential things. And the best part about all of this, is that when we do get this all done, we're going to publish it with a credits only required license, right, Damien?
Yeah, so for the most part, all of my mods that I've ever made, they're all open source licensed as such. So the whole idea is this will be an open source mod. It will be public. It will be available to anyone to utilize, build upon, commit to, private. Again, I don't like putting this out there, but I do allow like repackings of all my mod. But again, something like this, I don't know if that's best idea due to the cross mod compatibility that will be required. So there will be restrictions and potential issues there if people try to repack something that 6 other mods are also being compatible with, and if they're all being updated at the same time, you'll have potential cross.
What about
issues.
vehicles?
So right now, there's nothing being. I don't have vehicles working, but it's not something that the realm of possibilities. Vehicles are essentially items, and I'm transferring your item from one server to another. The same thing can happen with vehicles. How that would look and work, still something that's up in the air. Whether that's within the same mod or not, is there. A large portion of what I made work as well in regards to item transfer is actually being done in my Universal API mod. So one key thing to note: this is 2 mods. Personally, I kind of regret the naming convention of my Universal API mod, but essentially it's the kind of the workhorse for this. So the Universal API mod is 2 parts. It's a mod that goes on the server. That's kind of like for the modders out there and developers out there, it's like an SDK to allow you to work with the API. And the API is essentially a web service that gets run on a separate server or on the same server. It can be run either side. That allows the servers all to connect and communicate together. So I've been using the Universal API mod on a few servers for a few private mods, as well as for my public Hived banking mod already. It's been stress tested and overly tested like crazy. Even been DDoSed on a few communities as well already. So that's one part of it, and that's what kind of makes the map link part work on its own. It's essentially uses the API mod and the API web service database on the back end to essentially allow for the players to transfer. And again, currently one of the biggest limitations right now in regards to the way it works is all the servers do need to run the same mod. People need all the same mods right now for this to work through the automated process, which kicks you and makes you rejoin the servers automatically without you having to click anything. But there'd be no reason why this wouldn't work when you have servers with different mods on them. Obviously, there'd be issues though if items were not, you didn't have the same item mods on all the servers, then you would of course lose those items automatically, regardless of whether you intended to or not. do that. So, there are some restrictions there. Also, you'd have to close the game and relaunch the game and reconnect to the correct server. So I am working my best to ensure cross compatibility and all mods work together. Seems so far with the testing, like Namalsk and uh, Chimis, I can't pronounce that one.
Chimsy.
Seem to work fine. Kimsey works fine. Livonia, obviously, Chinaris works fine. Deer Isle has some issues because they have a lot of their custom scripting and stuff like that. But I've reached out recently to John McLean to talk about what we can do to ensure that type of stuff. So there is a bit of stuff that needs to be done before this mod is ready for the public and ready to be released. I'm starting up my own test servers, hopefully, I'm going with today, if not tomorrow. I know Dumgra is also going to be launching it on his community as well for testing purposes. So we
One
could
guy
test some.
to maybe get in contact with, if he's open to it, would be Ike. Like you said in chat, he has 7 servers on all different maps. So that might save you a few bucks on having to, maybe rent another machine and all the rest of it. You've got someone there who's very big part of the community, and he has 7 servers ready to go.
Yeah, and again, the bigger concerns is less about the server. It's more about the mod compatibility with other mods. There's other mods that need to be taken consideration. Example right now, I've already Mass and I've already talked about it, but essentially with Mass's MREs, if you transport with the MREs empty and open, they refill up, right? So there's simple little like mod conflicts I would like to test through, at least for the big popular mods to start. I need to look at Trader as well as like Okeana's like car key mod to ensure like car keys and things transfer properly.
Yep.
There's still a lot to do before I feel comfortable releasing it to anyone who's potentially not involved directly to knows enough to script any of their own conflicts out if they wish. As well as I do want to test more myself on my own little testing server. I'm not really trying to get the population up on it, just literally just in case somebody did want to test it out or play around with it. There will be a server running with my that will be there testing, and it will be probably wiped every other week kind of thing, just as I test mods, remove mods, and such. And I'm hoping, though, I'm not planning to keep this out of people's hands for long. My goal here is once I'm confident and that we have a decent compatibility stretch for mods, I'm hoping to have this out in people's hands right away. I don't want to keep this back from the community. I think this is a great opportunity for DayZ to grow in regards to the way, functionality works and how people think of DayZ, right?
Yeah. Blown away. That's quite exciting, mate. That is very, very exciting. Not going to be for every community, but for those that it is suitable for, just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, definitely. I was also just thinking about the PvP aspect of it. So because this mod's going to be open source, essentially, if a group of PvP servers, I don't know, just picking one, the day one ones, right? They're high PvP servers, right? They could technically put in parameters that you cannot transfer your character if you're carrying weapons or other variables. So technically, you could stop somebody from carrying like an arm's worth of like breaching charges or raiding tools or whatever cross server. Like you would just reject them and be like, no, you can't transfer. So that could be a cool thing to think about as well.
Will you be able to set any area where the travel points are available from and to?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now there's you can set multiple, I'm calling departure points and arrival points. So you can set the departure points and then the arrival points that they can go to, as well as what servers those arrival points are on, of course. And that's kind of how it works right now. So you can have multiple arrival points on certain servers. You could have one arrival point on the server. Like you could, have only one spot on that server where you can get from and to. We're also hoping to add in a feature of like blocking a server from being connected to directly. You actually have to like go through one server to get to there. For a couple of use cases, I know a few people who would like that kind of feature functionality for a more hardcore survival. So, if you want to go to Livonia, you have to actually go all the way across Chernarus to the road up there and then transfer to Livonia, and you wouldn't be able to spawn in directly on Livonia and such. So we're looking
Yep.
at a lot of different possibilities and features for different use cases.
So you're
And if
sort
anyone
of
has
answering Tegan's questions there. You can link specific arrival and departure points. So you can only travel from A to B, but not A to C, for example. You have to get to B to be able to get to C.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
That's all going to be possible, and it all kind of is possible right now. I haven't tested that particular scenario, but theoretically, with the way it's configured, you could do it. I probably need to test some of that. But
Very, very
I
good,
saw
you
somebody-
guys. Nice work.
Yeah, I saw somebody asking about, is it possible to have it like connect to like another server that has a map like the underground tunnels beneath the, let's say, Electro or whatever. Technically, you can. If you can make the map and make it so people don't fall through the world and all that kind of stuff, and you can boot up a server running that like underground tunnel, you could technically use this mod to transfer from the Chernarus street to the below surface on another server, and or even have like what I call I was talking with Damien about micro servers where like only 10 people could be on it, and it has limited resources, but technically if you're using a dedicated server, you could have like 10 of them running, and it would take up as much as like 4 servers, right? Stuff like that is very possible.
yeah, the idea of having instanced worlds for people, I thought would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The implementation and such of that would be have to be a little more thought out. But yeah, the idea of potentially allowing for the opportunity to essentially say, okay, you join the server and then you get transported over to this like separate instance, maybe for events. Like if you're a PvP community and you want to have an event, but you don't want to do it on the main server, or you don't want to, like, if your server's full and you want to kind of let people kind of all connect to an event server. One of the maps that I've recently been looking at more, Utes. It's a very small island, right? Perfect for like a small PvP tournament. But if you would allow players to set up a temporary terminal at the traders, people go to the traders across any of the servers and all transport to Utes for this event, and then they can transport back to their main server after the event's over, kind of thing. But
I like what Scalespeeder said. You could just have have departure and arrival points on the edges of the map, so you could have links Chernarus to Livonia, to Deer Isle, to Namols. Fabulous mod. I think there's a lot of scope for this, Marks. I know you're not a big fan of it by the sound of it, but it's going to be good for some communities, mate.
Yeah, I'd have to wait and see what it's like on a server. I'm not going to say it's terrible or anything because I don't know. But yeah, like whenever it comes public, and if servers do have it, I'll 100% give it a try. Like
I just see it as like, in my mind, I'm thinking of it. You could just have your character. It could be cleverly done in that some communities could make certain servers not have certain items. So there's a need for you to travel between maps to, there's a prevalence of XYZ item on XYZ server, and ABC item on DEF server, and just give people even more of a reason to travel.
Yeah, if there was like it would be cool for the mod if there was a way where you could be like, I don't know, there was a cutscene or something where it shows you walking off into the distance or something and coming onto the new map or something like that, instead of it, kicking you off one server and having to load back up, which you said is possibly doable, I think that would be quite cool.
There's a lot that is potentially doable there. I thought the exact same thing. I was saying I would love for it to, like, you have to get on a boat and then that boat like drives off the edge of the map, and then it disconnects you. There obviously will be some limitations in regards to you'll have to have loading screens and stuff because it's still DayZ and we can't intercept. The loading screen is still a very elusive thing. I have an animated loading screen for my server, and that in alone was pretty hard to make in the end of the day. And there's some limitations in regards to some of that, but there is still potential in regards to, pre-cut scenes or, enter scenes, right, where your character's animated and such. I would probably need help from some other people in the community who are a little better at that type of stuff, to get a lot of that working. But again, like I said, the mod is going to be open source. It's licensed under GNU, which is an open source licensing. So people are allowed to fork it, make their own versions. I would prefer, though, if people were interested in contributing, they're going to be more than welcome to reach out to me. Any of those talented modders in the community who're interested in helping, make maybe some of those other things possible. More than open to contributions and such. You know, like we're not, again, the goal right now, we were kind of working on this, trying to get this kind of built out as much as we can for now, and then, yeah, and again, the thing is too, where it's like, seeing how this is used on servers. The way I look at it is not every server is going to be able to implement this properly, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't try. Like again, you said you like to see how it's done on the servers because that will determine whether it ends up looking good to you. But I think that you have to look at how each server individually would implement it. Some servers might do a better job than others, and
Yeah.
other communities, and again, it may not just fit for yourself, but it might fit for their own community, right? So, and that's why I love about DayZ right now, and in general, DayZ is there's not there's so many servers, but there's barely any servers that are the same, right? Every server has its own unique mix of mods and features, and every DayZ is such a diverse game that you can have those hardcore RP servers, and you can have those hardcore PvP servers, and you have a ton of servers that are in between, right? And you have there's other things that people were doing in regards to other things that I've seen so many unique aspects of servers and things like that.
Well,
And people
I'm just
that done
in my
things
mind,
now.
I've got something going from a comment Spud just put in chat. Gives the ability to also satisfy both hardcore and not so hardcore by having, say, Livonia hardcore while Churner is not so hardcore. My mind went straight away to tying back into Mario stuff. You could turn Namolsk into an absolute nightmare server. Have it, infested with bloodsuckers, so that if you set this up right, you could have it that the railgun can be used across all servers, but can only be found, and the ammunition can only be found on the Molsk, and you've got to do XYZ objectives to do it. But there's bugger all resources, there's hardly any food, so that you use those other servers to gear up, and it sort of becomes a quest server that, right, we're going to go and try and get the railgun. And you take your squad and you've got to gear up knowing that you're not going to find ammo, you're not going to find hardly any food, that it's going to be an absolute nightmare with potentially other players. The possibilities are endless from this. And it's a bit like your tool, Mario, in that this is what it will do. It's up to you how they're going to implement it, isn't it, Mario?
I mean, it does seem like that,
Yeah. And with custom AI and stuff like that, and animations, just imagine the. I know I'm a bit of a dreamer. I know I'm a bit of an optimist, and I get very, very easily excited about stuff. But I can see some amazing communities being created using this tool.
You know what I think is going to be the best use for this?
What's that?
Basically, you have your map. Let's say, I don't know, Chernarus 2 or whatever, like your custom map. And then for underground areas, you make it so that you get teleported to a map that is basically just underground.
Yes.
And it's night always, so that lights and everything works perfectly.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
you can't do
So
underground on Chernarus, but someone
you
could create
you get to a tunnel, for example, and then you get teleported to the underground map.
Love it.
So I see a really big opportunity there for people to use this mod.
And what's cool is you could put like cooldown timers on the transfer points. So if somebody's transferred within like the past 24 hours, they can't transfer again. Just for example, it could be any time. One of the other things I just thought about is Damien Forge has this amazing territory mod. Speaking about Marx's PvP thing, let's say Marx is right. Someone on server A is being raided, and a bunch of people from server B start grabbing all the gear. Well, if they're technically part of the same territory or faction as the people being raided on server A, when they go to the arrival point, it will say a rejection message going, by the way, this space is being raided. You cannot transfer over the map. You must wait till, X time has passed or whatever. It's a rough idea, but the possibilities are there.
Yeah, I don't want to oversell any features that I want to get the basic features out first, but stuff like that is definitely all something obviously within the realm of possibility.
I've just asked Keegan to jump in. He's talking about why can't you just split the map up into grids and crank the max player count above the game limits? Does that make sense to you guys?
It does a little bit.
Explain, Keegan.
Hey, yeah, so I've done a similar system for this in Arma 3, and the way that I kind of proved it was I took the Arma 3 Altus map, and I broke it down into like 4 or 5 different grid coordinates, and then anytime you would travel from like one grid into the next grid, it would transfer you to a different server running that other grid. So you could do this with your system that you've built for DayZ, I think, at least, where you could take like major cities and put them on their own servers. And then that city just itself could be running 30 people. And then the rest of the map can still be, occupied with another 100 players or 200 players. So you could run into problems where like you need to cap certain transfer points, right? Like if 100 people all want to transfer into the city, that could be a problem because the city, can't handle 100 players on a server easily. But
yeah,
that's why I think it's cool.
Yeah, and I thought about something similar. The idea, my first thought actually was thinking about Deer Isle, and the temple, right? Offloading that, set up a second DRL server, and when they transfer to the temple, transfer them immediately because it's a simple streamlined spot to kind of do that.
Yeah.
And then you could open up something like a DRL server to have twice the number of people potentially, right? Where there's a bunch of people in the, in the temple and a bunch of people all in the server, and it would be seamless, and you would have higher populations.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
And I could see that being a very interesting fact. There's obviously some limitations around loading screens because you need to actually load from one server to the other, and I need to work a little more on how that works right now. It's a simple kick script that kicks you from the server and then like tells the client, after I've kicked you, reconnect to this server. I was hoping to potentially send the person directly to the next server, but I just haven't had a chance to kind of work on that and see how it would be possible. Because I do want to like streamline the transfer process as much as possible. I would like to like minimize it to the absolute minimum amount of time that you need to spend waiting between the servers, right? And then that could open up more opportunities for more options and such.
Yeah, like the concept of linking worlds is just so cool. Like you can develop third maps. Like you said, using Namalsk as like an island off the coast of Chernarus. Like right now you have transfer like points, but you could go further once you do manage to get like vehicles transferring and get it to the point where people can fly like a helicopter in expansion from Chernarus over to Namalsk. And things like that, that's where I kind of got the idea in Arma 3 of being able to do it. And I think doing that in DayZ, I thought about doing it in DayZ, but I was like, I don't really want to do it. I'm too busy doing other things. But the fact that you guys have started doing it, it's awesome.
Sorry, who said that?
Zyzen in chat said there are security concerns with that.
Like what kind of security concerns?
While he elaborates on that, Smoke and Bro asks, what happens to your character if you're trying to connect to a full pop server? Do you still leave your current server and join the queue, or choose to stay?
So I'm working on that. I'm hoping that I can integrate. I think I showed you a while back my API, like beta web interface, but this was partially what I was hoping to utilize. It allows you to check, a server's queue and all that stuff live. So I'm hoping that I can implement that into the mod. So before you hit connect, you'll see if there's a queue and such. So that will help provide that information directly to the player prior to them traveling. So they'll know that they can make the decision before clicking connect. And then once they click connect, if there is a queue, they would just be thrown in queue, and we've actually tested that already. So if we put a queue at 1 and essentially tried to get 3 people to all join at once, and there was a queue. There's a little graphical bug where you still saw the main menu for some reason. But again, things like that should be worked out prior to a public release of this. So you'd be, hopefully, if everything's working properly, you'll see that there's a queue before you even click the connect button. And if you do click the connect button anyways, knowing there's a queue, you'll just be thrown into queue waiting to join the next server.
Yep. Exciting.
So,
quite exciting possibilities.
Yeah, and also already there's the capabilities of having passwords on the servers, and the API will be able to tell the client the password prior through like RPC calls, essentially what the password is before the player tries to reconnect to the next server. So you could potentially have servers, so you could force players to kind of all join one server to start with. And it also will automatically redirect you to the server your player's on. So for instance, if you had a single server that was that you wanted everyone to join in on, the main server, you could have that, and then if they were on another server, it would kick them to the next server as soon as they joined. I'm hoping to try to find a way to do it prior to you actually having to join the server, but there's some limitations around like connection security, as well as different aspects to accessing the API data securely and such. You're required to connect to the server once before you get that information. So I've got to look at some of that. But there's a lot of different aspects to still kind of work out and bugs to work out.
So I was saying, make sure you block your block reconnects the original server during transfer, the origin server during transfer. If they reconnect quickly, there is a possibility of duping. Also makes it easier for hackers to dupe.
So one of the things around that, when we did a bit of testing, me and Numgar actually, and the way the scripting works, one of the key things, so one of the key ways dupers dupe, and this will prevent that, at least when utilizing the API, is they disconnect and reconnect, and before they reconnect, their old body hasn't, the old information hasn't been deleted yet and such, right? So we've actually done it within I think it's within a tenth of a second. I delete your body after you've clicked the disconnect button. Just enough time that your client will have disconnected already, and then it deletes your body and kills your character in the database and all that stuff too. So again, not saying that it's 100% dupe proof, and I would encourage anyone who thinks they might have a duping method that might be exploitable. I would love for them to reach out to me. I would love to make sure that we have as little duping as possible within this. It is a big concern I have, and I've tried to figure out some of the best ways to handle that right now. Yeah, so that is something I am concerned about, and I do want to ensure is not possible. Because there's already enough methods in vanilla to dupe. I want to remove any extra ones possible.
Yeah, and what's cool about the API controlling all the character data is if you are, let's say, somehow killed in the middle of a transfer, your character will be marked for death, marked dead no matter what, no matter how fast you can reconnect, because it pulls from that API. So even if you try to trick the system and go have someone transfer in the last second you blow their head off, it will still mark them as dead. So when they spawn in, they'll spawn at the coast or wherever they spawn.
Yeah, and a few of the scenarios, all our scenarios, majority of the time you died before you even finished transferring. A few times you died the second you hit the new server, and then a couple times you spawned in fresh, literally just spawned in as a fresh spawn on the new server as well. So far, I've not been able to dupe the gear through our testing, but again, there's still more testing that needs to be done on that, and that's partly why there's my own test server going on to help test some of these features. And then eventually, once we get a little further up the trail, I'll probably be opening up the servers to try out and start adding on. And I'll probably work with a few of the bigger communities, or people who have the biggest use cases in regards to kind of what they want to do, try to help them get started. I'll be trying there to help people get started the first few times, but after that, I'll probably just have to make sure I have documentation. As any modder knows, as soon as you have a mod out there that has a more complex configuration option, it opens the door for 10 million questions. So You know, I want to try to
Yeah.
utilize my time to actually improve the mod, not just help people use it.
I'm excited for it. I think there's some great potential for the right communities with this one. Good job, guys. Very good job.
Thanks.
Dumpgra, I'm not talking to you anymore. You kept this fucking completely secret from me, mate. I'm not happy.
Well, okay, so I was going to tell you, and then you told me about MarioE's thing, and I'm all like, oh man, I can't overshadow that. So I just kept it.
No, very, very excited to see what she's come up with. And like they said, anyone who's interested in helping them out, reach out to the fellas. What's the best way to get in contact with you?
Discord.
Share your link in chat, mate.
Sure, I'll share my link to my Discord, or at least I'll find the Discord. I've got too many Discords on my thing.
You got any more questions on it, Marks?
No, not as of right now.
Wait until we get to see it in action.
Yeah.
Which channel do I share it in, sir?
Just share it in the stream chat, and then post it into the guest bios info as well, and I'll try to remember to add it to the video.
Alright.
Very, very exciting, guys. Essica has shown what can be done with existing assets. Marks, I don't know about you, mate, but the more I travel that map, the more in love I am with just how beautiful some... Like, I found a little pub in a town, and they'd made a beer garden section outside it. All these little roofs and benches, and it was all in a bit of disarray, like, you know, maybe there'd been a fight there or something, but it's just so different to anything that I played.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's as of right now, it's fantastic. When it's done, it's going to be the best map out there. It's going to beat any other map out there, hands down. Because it's just so, it looks like it's made for the game. Does that make sense? Like, so it's very apocalyptic, run over, kind of run down, and it's just great. And there's so many. I think it brings a different playstyle as well. 'Cause there's so many different ways you can, you know, see someone interact with people, shoot people, you know, all this stuff. So it's really good.
Yeah, it probably like one thing that disappoints me a bit in Mario. This is a question for you, mate. Is with these custom animations, are we going to be able to interact more with the world around us now, potentially? You know, like be able to sit on chairs and things like that?
Yes, totally.
That's something that excites me, Marks. You know, just being able to interact more with the world around us. That's probably one of the biggest failings for me that DayZ has. Is, you know, we can vault items and climb over fences and that now, but, you know, just seeing a chair and not being able to sit down on it and just little things like that. Maybe not so big for the PvPers, but for the role players, the interactors and that. What were you going to say?
Speaking of chairs, like say you're cooking food in a house and there's one of those chairs at the kitchen table, being able to pick it up, possibly, and maybe move it in front of the fire or something, and then being able to sit on it as well would be quite cool, you know, or even around a campfire outside of you with a group of friends and stuff. It'd be really cool.
I don't know about picking up the existing animations. That's probably Keegan. You got any idea on that, mate?
Not really. I haven't been too focused on everything that's been going on, really. But in terms of just custom animations in and of itself, I think it's going to be just a huge change, because that was one of the limitations I ran into when building VR, right? Was I couldn't do parachuting because I can't do parachuting animations. Now it's, you know, it's looking like it's going to be a possibility.
Yeah.
So it's something that I'm going to want to start learning.
I'm excited for that, mate. I really, really am. Yeah, just so many possibilities with it.
Yeah, all that, the share stuff and the parachute, they lie down in what I call new player mechanics. So it's not just about taking the mechanics that are already there, made by Bohemian. You can make your own stuff for the player.
Yeah, it'll be cool, for sure.
Sorry, just responding to a question in chat. But no, Essica is just blowing my mind, and it's making me pay more attention to Deer Isle as well. I go in and I watch John just working on that. He's non-stop working on that, and it's so nice actually seeing a map being made live on stream, Marks.
Yeah, I've stopped by his thing once or twice. It is cool to see. Way over my head of what's actually going on screen. I haven't a clue, but it's kind of cool to see. Yeah,
It is just nice to watch. Definitely check him out. If someone can get a link to John McLean's channel and post it in chat, I should have had one ready. But yeah, just amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing. I think we covered this. Yeah, this was with the sound sync. Oh no, this is about the plate carrier and the firearms audibility. So sort of a DayZ Twitter watch, but good to see that they have been taking the feedback on board, and they're going to be implementing a hotfix. That should be out now. This will include...
No.
It's not yet?
This week. No, it's
this week, sorry. This week coming. This will include additional iteration on the firearms audibility and buff to the plate carrier vest. What were you going to say, Marks?
It's going to be interesting to see how that's going to affect stuff. I hope they make the adjustments, and if it's broken again, hopefully they'll keep adjusting it until it's perfect. I'll have a video out next week and all the patch notes and info on it, and I'm assuming then sometime later that week or the following week, Wobo will have a more detailed video on it as well. So
yep,
should be interesting to see.
Mr. Utah, I saw him in chat before. How good was episode 3, folks?
It was good, yeah. It was pretty decent.
I am so in love with this series. Did you watch it at all there, Mario?
I didn't know about that.
So Mr. Utah is doing a live action DayZ series. I'll share his channel. First class. He's a professional video editor or video maker, and the stuff he's done is just absolutely amazing. They're big productions. It was 3 months ago that episode 2 came out, and he records each, like he's probably working on episode 4 now, but absolutely phenomenal stuff. I would like to remind everyone as well, Mr. Utah, come on, buddy, you need to have your Patreon link right there in your About section. Yeah, the final shot was gorgeous.
Might be in there.
He has a Patreon as well, folks. So definitely check it out. Help support the funding of these amazing episodes, because he's doing all of this pretty much, yeah. Oh no, it looks like he got lost. I'm guessing that doesn't work. There we go. That was weird that it gave me that weird ass link. But yeah, definitely worth doing. Plus you get early access to each episode as well. So I got to watch that at the beginning of last week. I think I tweeted it out. Well, not the beginning. I think the middle of last week. Maybe it was the beginning. I'm not sure. I'm old. I forget shit.
One thing that would be cool to see whenever he finishes all these episodes. I don't know how many he's going to do in total, but at the end, it'd be cool if he put all the episodes into one big, video, nearly like a movie.
That would be. That's good feedback. That's good feedback.
Like an hour and a half, 2 hour long, just video of everything.
Plus, he's looking at other projects as well, folks. Not just DayZ related, but other games as well. So it's definitely something that is going to get bigger. I imagine he'll find some companies that are a lot more open, because he's showing a really good showcase of the game here, to working and maybe funding him with other projects and other games. So definitely consider joining the Patreon, folks, and give him any feedback, any games I said to him he should look at maybe Scum and just anything else that's out there that you reckon he could do a good job with. He's also got a CSGO film as well called Clutch, so definitely check that out. We now have a Guilded server, folks. So for those who don't know, Guilded is an alternative to Discord. God almighty. And why is it not working?
Because you have your username and not an email.
Yeah. So this is something I've been working on. Somebody should make an alternate to Discord called Dick Sword. But this is an expansion of the 87.8 Survivor FM that I'm working on. I want to start doing more spotlight interviews, as you've seen, and also covering other games. So there's sections in it for Deadside, DayZ, 7 Days to Die, Green Hell, The Forest, Survive Icarus, Stranded, The Day Before, Rust, The Long Dark, Scum, just so many different things. It's a project in development, but I will get a copy of the link. One of the things I like about it is threaded conversations. No longer do bloody conversations in a general chat get filled up with spam from people talking about one thing. You can actually reply and then continue replying to items. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what they can do with it. It's a very novel idea and got a lot of features that Discord doesn't offer. Like one of them is you get 256 kilobyte audio streaming without having to pay. At the moment, I spend about $30 US a month paying for boosts to the podcast Discord to get us the best quality audio and 1080 streaming of video. But you get that stuff for free with Guilded, so definitely worth checking out. I'd love to see some more people join the server. I'll have a link to it in the description of the video as well when it goes live. Whether it lasts or not, time will only tell their marks, but I'm checking it out for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Now, this is something that's been bugging me a bit lately. DayZ Law. Now, for those who are long-time fans of the show, you remember when we had Matt Lightfoot on before Christmas. And he talked about the, just after Christmas, I think it was, the original DayZ Law. But for the life of me, Marks, I can't understand why DayZ has not done anything official themselves. There's no law videos.
I think, personally, I think it's too much work, and I don't think many people would really, I don't know if care is the word, but be interested in it. You know, for the work that's something like that would take to make, for, you know, it would have to pay off, and I just don't think there would be enough there. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. I just don't think it's there. Like, the interest is there for it.
You know, what about if they even just commissioned people to, you know, this is the law, make a video and promote it, you know, or, you know, I remember a while back they did something with Minder that we never really got to find out what that was all about, but yeah, I know for the PvPers it's not really something that's of much interest, but I just think they're missing out on something there because there's so much confusion over the law of DayZ. Some people I heard said just the other day. Someone said 2 weeks after the infection, and I corrected them. I said no, it's 2 years after the infection broke out. And you constantly see people saying, why can't we get the virus if we get bitten? Because the law is we're all immune to it. But so many people just don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to be honest with you.
What about you, Keegan? What do you think?
I don't think the game needs lore. Right?
Yeah.
For me, it's DayZ. It's all about creating your own kind of story, right? And part of that, to me, is creating my own backstory. So I think if they added lore to the game, yeah, it'd be cool, but it'd take that away from me. And so I think there's kind of like that. There's a threshold that if they don't meet, it makes the game worse.
Yeah, good point. That's a good point. I didn't really think of it that way, but yeah, I don't know. I just part of me still would love to see something done. Even a fan-made one. That'd be something pretty cool. Let's get some fan-made lore out there and promote that a bit and see what we can rustle up amongst the community.
Like, is the lore out there? Like, if I wanted to go right now and search DayZ lore, would I find it?
Let's have a look.
Let me check. Lore DayZ wiki. There's not much there. I don't know if that's just it. I don't even think that has anything to do with it. Oh wait, no, maybe.
Okay, I'm going to go. Have a good one.
No worries, Mario. Thank you once again, mate. Just what you've done is such a gift to give to the DayZ community, mate. On behalf of everyone, thank you so much.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. You don't like praise, do you, mate?
No, I don't.
Well, you're going to have to get used to it, mate. I imagine you're going to have a lot of people thanking you a lot, both you and Tyrone. Tell Tyrone I'm not speaking to him anymore either for standing me up.
He actually warned me. He will probably fall asleep.
Nah, all the best, mate. Thank you so much for coming on today. And once again, folks, there's the Discord in chat. If you would like to know more about the AI and animation process, definitely join that Discord so you can stay up to date with it. All the best, Mario.
Okay, have a good one.
No worries.
See ya.
See, even there's the confusion. Johnny Bravo saying, I swear I remember reading that it was 26 years after the outbreak. I can't see where...
See here, I've just found this now, right? So in the DayZ wiki, it says about the outbreak. So I'll just quickly read this, like a paragraph long, like 2 lines long. Not much known about the infected outbreak in Chernos, but sometime after the Civil War of 2009, the Ipanins, I think I pronounced that right, I don't know, of the country became infected, likely with a disease familiar to biological affliction. It can be assumed the infection began sometime late 2012 and late 2013, however, or at least occurring during the time due to the FNX 45 in the loot tables in the game. So there is no actual, from the DayZ wiki anyway, there is no...
There is an actual file that was shown to us, although it was very blurry, that was created by Dean Hall and the team way back when. That explained it all. If you watch the Matt Lightfoot episode, you can see it there. I think I even called the episode the original DayZ lore because it was all there in that file, but unfortunately it was very old and the music was copyrighted and yeah.
Yeah, well that's why nobody's made a video on it, is because you go onto the DayZ wiki trying to find out about it and it's all just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't even make it's not it's not worth the effort. Maybe if they release like an official one or something with a full storyline or something, maybe that'd be easier to do. But otherwise, that would just become too confusing.
It'd be interesting. Speaking of interesting, I had a video pop up in my recommended feed. Survival expert reacts to DayZ. Experts react. Anyone else seen this?
No.
It's got Sour Sweet's footage in it. It's all Sour Sweet. They reached out to him. It was quite interesting to watch. Have you seen it, Keegan?
I have not.
There's a link to it. I actually found it quite interesting. Some of the comical parts of it, comments. I love how the lady is talking about the natural resources while the footage is having a full-on shootout. It's quite interesting seeing someone talk seriously about a game. But yeah, and if anything, the for the more survivally type servers, there's some really good information there if people can work out how to do it, of things you can. She talks about the antibiotic properties of certain trees and bushes in the game, and just things you could do like stuffing hay from hay bales into your clothing to insulate it. She gives a lot of insight for people who are looking to make their server more survivally. So definitely worth checking out. It was a good video to watch. Very good video to watch. And good to see Sour Sweet getting a shout out from the creators as well. Admittedly, they stuck it all the way down here, but thanks to Sour Sweet for the gameplay and a link to his YouTube channel right there. I thought it was pretty cool. We didn't get a console topic this week from the crowd, but there is a mod I wanted to showcase for people. You were talking about this before, Mark, the dog.
Yeah. I saw this actually while we were talking about the animation thing, and it looks really, really cool.
Now
Definitely
just
gonna make a
imagine it
video on
with
this.
custom AI.
Yeah, because it's pretty cool the way it is already.
Yeah, it's just using wall farm animations. Yeah, custom animations for lying down and sitting and things like that, and
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I want to make a deeper showcase, and that's what I'm going to make one during the week, I think.
but the other thing with
bring
it
more
as
eyes
well is,
onto it.
I think they said there's different breeds.
Players down the end
yeah,
of this
there is,
road.
yeah.
They seem pretty geared.
I'm certain I've read something about different breeds. Maybe it was on the description of the video. But yeah, different breeds of dogs.
There's like huskies and I think labs and some other dogs
Yeah.
like that there as well.
Yep, golden retrievers. I don't know whether I could do a golden retriever into the game because I'd be so scared of it dying. But yeah, no, fantastic little mod. And again, like I mentioned, with the potential from the animations announcement by Mario earlier, the sky's the limit for it. The sky is the absolute limit for it.
Yeah.
The other spotlight I wanted to highlight was, we talked about them earlier, but folks, if you really want to see what's being done with the animation and AI tools that are being released, there's the Discord for the Stalkers server. Definitely jump on over and get in there, because they've got the first custom AI and animation creature in the game, and they've got the jump on everyone by having been taught personally by Mario. So if you really want to see what's being done, there's going to be a good server. We will, of course, stay on the ball as much as possible with stuff that's happening out there. If you are creating stuff more PvE related stuff, or just doing anything really cool, let us know. We want to showcase it as much as possible, don't we, Marks?
Yeah, for sure we do.
Yeah. On a personal note, I just want to thank everyone who reached out to me today. I know I said I'd be making an announcement as to the future of the podcast, and I did make an announcement on Twitter, but just you guys blew me away with the amount of people who supported me after the little tete-a-tete earlier this week with another creator. And there's no way on earth I could abandon you. I was pretty hot under the collar and a bit upset at the time, but if anything, you guys have made me even more passionate to continue to work on expanding the stuff I do for the community and for this genre. And that's really what I want to start focusing on is, there's more games than just DayZ that I like playing. No, I haven't seen the map of Banov. Send us a link and we'll include it next week. Don't even know what Banov is. Have you heard of Banov, Marks?
Yeah, it's a new map under production at the moment. Not released or anything. Nowhere near it, I don't think either. About a year away.
About a year away. So plenty of life left in this old girl yet. But yeah, once again, thank you to everyone who reached out, sent me personal messages, just replied to Twitter posts and things like that. It meant the world to me. Like, I had genuine tears in my eye at one stage because I got pretty upset about it. But yeah, you got to have thick skins when you're on the internet, don't you, Marks?
Well, you sure do.
What have we got here? I'll mute it just in case it's copyrighted. The first Slovak map for DayZ. Nice big map. Oh, bugger it. Available now. Did you say it was a year away, Mark?
Yeah, they might have released it early. When I was talking to the creator of it, they said it was months away from being done.
I'll be checking that out because Estica, like I said earlier, Esca's just reinvigorated my thing. Kubalai, make sure you're in the Discord, mate. Send me a message, and we might look at getting you on in a future episode to talk about it, mate, because that's the sort of stuff we love doing it. Love talking about, because variety is the spice of life. The more choice people have got, maps to play, and particularly with this cool little tool that Dumpgra and the crew have come up with, Demon Forge, it's just, I'm excited. Just the possibility of, there you go, there's the his Discord for the map, so make sure you click in that. I'm in so many Discords. Two-factor authentication. I'll do that later. Highlights. Marks, you got a highlight for the week?
I don't. It was a quiet enough week. I didn't see much. I was just really busy with either update stuff or stuff like that, so I didn't get even a chance to watch a DayZ video. I'll put a highlight that Summit is now playing DayZ again. He has been for the past couple of days, and he seems to be actually liking it this time.
Not complaining about trees.
He's playing on third-person servers, so I think that might be helping him a bit.
Third person or first person?
Third.
Pleb.
Third, yeah.
He's a pleb. Third person pleb. You heard it first here. Summit's a third person pleb.
There's nothing wrong with third-person servers. Just as long as you're having fun, that's the main thing.
They get the most people, mate. They get the most people.
But yeah, that's all I have. It was quite weak. Otherwise, I didn't see much.
What about you, Keegan? You still loitering, mate?
Yeah, I loiter around a bit.
Give us a quick update on Battle Royale, mate. What's going on with it?
Pretty big rework of the leaderboard system. This whole week, actually, I've just had my head down doing that, so I don't have any update or any highlight of the week. But yeah, just trucking along, trying to get some code done. We're moving at a little faster pace the last few weeks than we have been, but that's about it.
When you're ready to showcase it again, mate, reach out to us, and we'll try and do another event like the Christmas one, mate, because... Yeah, as much as I'm a survivalist and all the rest of it, I still enjoy things like, you guys know how much I love Survivor games. Oh, shit. Yeah, that reminds me. Where did I put it? Give me 1 second. Did I post it to the end of this? No, I tweeted it. That's right. Did everyone see my tweet about Survivor games?
No.
I missed that one.
I am there. Give me a second. I tweet a lot of shit, so it's easy to miss important ones. Here it is. Let me just share my screen. Yeah, DOJ's laughing because the Discord I took it from, I'm in it, and Inclement Dab shared a file and DOJ tagged me. It was like, just don't let Boydie see this. So I'm going to try to get some more information and talk about this next week, folks. But maybe there's hope. Maybe there is hope. Survivor Games Nemol submission file.zip. DOJ is saying this is the original Arma 2 Survivor Games, I believe. Don't hope too much.
Yeah, don't be getting your hopes up.
They're fucking baiting me by the look of it. They're baiting me. Fuckers, I'll get them back. I'll get them back. But maybe. See, they fucking bait me. They bait me. They know how much I want Survivor Games back. That's why I'm so excited for Battle Royale mod, because it's the closest thing to Survivor Games. Not as long as Survivor Games, but it's on par with it. So, yeah. Keep us up to date though, Keegan. You know we love your project, mate, and I've got to get back in and try it again. You getting many people playing it?
We had a few matches go off this last week.
Yep.
I'm hoping that as I finish up this leaderboard system and we actually get like rated matchmaking and stuff, it'll be we'll be able to grow a little bit faster.
There it is. I was scrolled right past it. For those who want to find out more about it, here is the link to the Battle Royale Discord where you can meet up with others and try to arrange games and that. Have you ever tried it, Marks?
Yeah, I've played a couple of them, made a few videos on it and everything.
Yeah, and there's a link to his website in chat as well, folks, so definitely worth checking out. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. I played it, I sucked, I died, but it's a lot of fun. Plus, how's spectator mode going?
I haven't made a whole lot of progress on that.
Yep.
That's next on the to-do list after the leaderboards rework. So it's up there.
It'll be exciting to see it with parachuting in, though.
Oh yeah, once I get my hands on the animation, and I want to get my hands on AI too, because I think it'd be cool. Just like how PUBG fills matches with AI, filling smaller matches with some AI.
Yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities with all these cool different mods that are coming out.
Nah, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Highlight for me is without a doubt Mario's stuff. It's just phenomenal. I'm so excited for the future of DayZ, folks. This has given the game a whole new lease on life. The potential of stuff coming out over the weeks and months and even years ahead is phenomenal. But most importantly, I'm just excited to see that some people are going to be able to put some little polishes on existing mods just to make them so much better. Like the Hell Retex medical mod. Just, some custom animations of dealing, like they've got a need to wash your body. To actually see your character doing a wash instead of just washing their hands, washing their actual body. It's going to add to the immersiveness for everyone, not just the role players and the interactors, but even like you've been saying, Marks, the custom animations for throwing, and maybe someone could do an underhanded throw, because at the moment there's only one throwing animation. Maybe someone can work out how to do an underhanded roll of a grenade or something, Marks. The possibilities are endless.
Endless, yeah. Exactly.
It's going to be huge. Going to be huge, folks. Thank you all so much for coming in. We will see you next week. Next week we have, let me just bring it up, we have Big Grandpa, who was meant to be on this week, but Big Grandpa is coming on to talk about a map that he is making, which is for Australia, an Australian map. And joining him is someone who's in chat, That Lad. That Lad is coming on to talk about some exciting stuff he's been working on as well. So I'm excited for next week's episode, folks. Just seems that every week it gets underhand for girls. Oh my God, you misogynist. You misogynist, Brooks. But yeah, very, very excited, folks. Some big stuff coming up ahead. All the best, everyone. Let's find someone to raid. But Marks and Keegan, thank you so much. Dumpgrad, Demon, Mario, thank you for coming in as well. All the best, everyone. And we will see you next week, as always, won't we, Marks?
Yep, we sure will.
No worries. All the best, everyone, and ciao for now.
My heart